In 3, 2, 1. Hello, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Not the Daniel Strohman podcast. We're trying something a little different here. We're reinventing the podcast a bit for the summer. Are you guys good? Yeah. So, first of all, this is outside, in case you couldn't tell by the ambience, by the cameras if you're watching on YouTube or Spotify. We're outside, gathered around a fire. We have a ridiculous number of guests today. Do you guys want to... I'll go around. You guys can just say hello. I'll introduce you each. Everyone has been on the podcast before. Yeah, including... we'll get to that. All right. So first up, we have Chris Kellogg.
Hello.
In the house.
Hello.
Miles Hutto.
Hello.
Mike
Hey.
Tackett.
Hey.
Eli Stoneburg. And then off camera right now, we have Owen Gutzmer. And he's also grilling for us.
I am. Hello.
Yeah, we got burgers going. So sometime, probably in the middle of the podcast, we'll be picking those up and eating those whenever those happen. And yeah, it's just going to be a really fun time. And there's smoke in my eyes now. Anyway, as any proper event, we will be beginning with the national anthem. Sung by our great chef, Owen Gutzmer. Take it away, Owen. Everyone rise.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early lights what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? Who brought sprites and bright stars through the perilous fight, and the ramparts we barred were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, yea, through the night, but our flag was still there. Oh, say doth that star-spangled banner yet for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you,
I
Owen.
dropped a burger while I was singing that.
Did you say you burned
It's
a
on
burger?
the ground. There's a burger on the ground.
That's incredible. Okay, I should have done that.
Okay,
I should have done this
It's
before, but
getting-
I'm just gonna
it's
check
getting
if all the
flame
cameras are
grilled.
recording.
It'll be fine.
It's probably a good idea. You gotta get some like transitions and post and like edit over the music.
Spot.
There's a wet spot.
There was a mysterious one. I still look
I just got burnt by an ember.
That's nice. Okay.
We're good.
This was a great idea.
It's the
great
price
idea.
of production, bro.
That was almost as good as Airsoft Fatty singing the national anthem at Creator Clash.
Wow.
When Chris, you don't keep up with like iDubbbz, do you?
No,
at all?
I do
No.
not,
Okay.
unfortunately, I'm sorry.
Basically, you put on this. He dubbed it Creator Clash, and it was this big old boxing match with a bunch of YouTubers, and he got this one like smaller YouTuber who he did a documentary on. Big guy. He does videos where it's just like him and his friends fighting with lightsabers, and he does like how-to cooking videos on like how to make ramen with ketchup, stuff like that. I think he had like a Fortnite chug jug video.
Yeah, I think so.
Stuff like that. And so he had this kid sing the national anthem at this boxing match, which I was so surprised by. Like the moment, like I thought he was just there to be there, just like, oh, there's Airsoft Patty, and then he goes up to sing the national anthem. That made my night.
It was a beautiful night.
It was a wonderful night.
He had to restart.
Yeah, that's the funny part.
twice.
He forgot the lyrics, so he had to restart twice, and the audience helped him.
He did fantastic.
Oh, he
in
did.
my opinion.
It was perfect. It was
I feel
perfect.
like there was one word. Maybe.
There was one word.
okay.
Yeah, I feel like
Still American.
yeah, still
very
American. I feel like the fire picked up right as he said "free."
Yeah.
That was incredible.
Great.
Definitely a
with the
smoke
American
blaster too. That
Yeah.
happened.
So all of us had very different post high school experiences. Me and Owen were here, of course. Eli was in. Was at NIU. You guys don't mind me outing you right now, do you?
Go for it.
No.
Go
Okay.
for it. Spill the beans.
At this exact address and location. No, but Mike, you were all the way over in Asheville, North Carolina. Chris was on the other side of the United States, all the way in California. Miles, you were up in the busy city of Chicago.
Yes, sir.
And then here I was, dicking around playing video games. And I still have more of an education than all of you.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to drop that in there. I debated it. But yeah, Chris,
Yes, sir.
being on just the other side. I mean, we're in the middle-ish,
Yeah.
right? But California's the furthest out of all of us,
I would
I'm
say.
sure.
Yes.
So yeah, like, I'm sure. Did we talk about this at all? Like, just the culture shock of being in a completely
Probably.
different
It
place.
was a very different feel to it. It was first of all, the time zone. I didn't think that was gonna get me, but like 2 hours, it's not that much in comparison. But like when
Uh-huh.
I was talking to people back at home, I'd always have to like kind of mind that if they were like already in bed or something like that. So that was just hard keeping up with people. I guess it's only 2 hours, but it felt weird.
Uh-huh.
And then I don't know. People were definitely different in terms of. I felt like a lot of people, like Midwesterners, you always hear that they're very nice and like out to help everyone. And I would actually agree with that because I felt like a lot
Compared
of people.
to
Yeah, especially if
California?
they had like money, it seemed like they're
very snobbish.
yeah, and hard to impress in a way. Like
Yeah.
you know, like around here, like if you're bored on a Thursday night, you go to like a parking lot and just
Yeah.
I don't know, just do
Yeah.
something. in
You
the
guys go
parking
to
lot.
many parking lots?
Yeah.
A
You know
lot.
what I mean, like a good parking lot shows like
Uh-huh.
the vibe around here. But if you do anything less than like, I don't know, in a good time, then it's kind of overlooked in a way. I don't know.
Yeah.
Harder to impress. And
Yeah,
was
that makes sense.
Kind of weird because I went around with my friends and I was like, "Yo, let's just go here and
Mhm.
chill," and they're like, "Why would we do that?"
Yeah, I do
It's
feel
still
like
a fun time.
yeah, I do feel like that is kind of especially Southern California, because that's where Hollywood and Los
Yeah.
Angeles is, right?
A lot of
So
people trying to just make it to
that
the next step.
yeah,
so
that's
it's very
full of
different.
people that's just living there to
Uh-huh.
impress other people and hopefully make it in a business.
Yeah, which kind of sucked in a way, but I was a little bit far removed from it because I was in Malibu.
Uh-huh.
And obviously being on a college campus is you get people that are more familiar, so it wasn't entirely different, but it was definitely
By the way, guys, I probably should have mentioned this before, but you don't have to wait for me to specifically ask you a question. If you have anything to say, just go ahead and chime in.
Well aware. Well aware.
All right. Just making
Don't
sure.
worry.
Just
Let
making
it
sure.
rip.
It's a very captivating.
And that
story.
brings me to Eli. How was DeKalb compared to
yeah.
Rockford? I
Man.
feel like it would just be the same, kind of. Just a little, like,
More
small townish.
Yeah, honestly, I think it makes up like more than 50% of the population, the students. Yeah, we have
That does make sense.
15,000 students. And, like,
15,000?
yeah,
Holy crap.
and only like 30,000 live in DeKalb. So it's
So
like
that is half.
yeah, and then there's just like cornfields surrounding it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and everything closes at 8 or 9.
Real. I feel like that's
Everything.
so early.
Like not just college stuff. It's like
They do that in
restaurants.
Chicago too.
Everything closes at 8?
I
So you
think
gotta
just
go to
like
Not
Vinny's
e-
Pizza,
well, I mean
man.
everything in DeKalb. I feel like Chicago would have a little more.
it's like 10, dog. It's not
Yeah,
that much.
okay.
No, it's really
Everything closes at 10 in Chicago, or?
most things like
Okay, because I feel like 10 is pretty standard, because that's about when everything closes around here.
It didn't used to be that way, man.
Yeah, it
well, I mean,
didn't.
post-COVID.
I remember I went to Chicago recently, and yeah, you couldn't even go up to like the top of the John Hancock building like after like 9:30.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I was like, it's downtown Chicago. I can't go get a Starbucks. What the hell?
Yeah, right?
Listen, I remember 24-hour McDonald's and $5 footlongs.
Yeah. I'm very lucky. I live down the street from one of, if not the only 24-hour McDonald's in Rockford at the moment.
It's still 24 hours.
Yeah, that one's still 24 hours. Maybe not 24 hours, but it's open till like 3 in the morning. Every other one closes at like 12. I remember me and Miles have made many trips where we've been trying just to go to McDonald's. It would be like 11 even, maybe 12. And we just could not find one. And if I'm at his house, there's no way we're coming all the way back to mine just to get McDonald's.
The one fast food restaurant we had in Malibu is McDonald's. And there's a Jack in the Box too, but it's like Jack in the Box.
I feel like...
And it closed at like 10, which is like very early for McDonald's. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was hard.
I remember Mike and I think we went, if you go too late at McDonald's here, you just don't get your food.
McDonald's gets weird.
Like,
12 p.m.
Yeah, I think we left at like midnight to go to a McDonald's, one of the ones that was open really late. And there was like one dude there. And first of all, we walked up and, you know, you're talking to the intercom. And this dude talked like, what do you want? Like, the dude made no sense. Like after that, like I just heard, what do you want? And I talked to him and then he just was like bass boosted through the intercom. I couldn't, it was so weird. And I came up to the dude and he's like, he took my money and he's like, my cash register isn't working. I can't do anything about that. And I was like, he's like, if you give me 20, I'll give you change. I just gotta like go to the back and stuff. I was like, okay. They gave him the 20 and I pulled up to the next like window and I had Mike there with me. And I think we sat there for about like an hour, like at a fest, like at the drive-through. And I was really scared this dude had just like dipped with my 20 and was just like closed for the night. But it came out and I don't know if we got the order right, but you know, at the end of the day we got it. But that was quite the time.
I think one time I went to McDonald's and they like forgot I was there. I was babysitting till like 1 a.m. and then I went to McDonald's after. I pulled up to the second window and they like just didn't come. And then like 15 minutes later they're like, hello? Like what's going on?
Can we
Like,
serve
my
you?
food?
That makes me think of yesterday. Me, Mike, Danny, and Story was actually here. We went to Taco Bell. And we placed an online order, so we were so excited. We all got the cravings boxes for $5 with a cheesy gordita crunch. At least me and Danny did. I forget what's the other thing.
Toasted cheddar chalupa box.
Toasted cheddar chalupa box.
I highly recommend it to everybody.
Anyway, we show up to the Taco Bell, and all the workers are just sitting right outside. And as we drove by, they all just stared at us. And there was not a single explanation given as to why. We should have asked in hindsight. Just like, what's up? Like, was there just someone inside robbing it?
I have a question.
What's up?
Do y'all think ordering online is worth it? Like shipping in food, you know, delivery?
Are you talking about like DoorDash?
Hell no.
Yeah,
No.
that's what I
Absolutely
think.
not.
I don't
Right?
think it is.
This is like an
Quality's-
online order, like you go to the restaurant. And I think
Yeah.
that's fine.
Oh yeah, you get
Yeah.
the deals.
Yeah, you get the
but if you're
deals, you
getting
get
it
the points.
delivered,
Dude,
It's
I
more
have-
accurate too, because like
Yeah.
you put in your own things. So,
Exactly.
I have so
You know.
much McDonald's points, bro. Like I just keep building them bitches up.
I
It's
just got the
great.
McDonald's app today. I heard it was great.
It is
Downloaded
it is pretty
today.
solid. You just gotta be careful not to let them draw you in.
Yeah.
I once spent being like maybe a month ago, like $72 on a Papa John's pizza for delivery. It was their epic stuffed crust pizza. But
Did you see the commercial and was like, that looks good?
No.
Because I don't think anyone does that.
no, because I was just like scanning through and then I came across
It just
and I was
sounds
like,
fun, right?
I was out,
It had
doing-
me intrigued when I heard of it.
Yeah, and so I was with a bunch of friends, and it was like 2 a.m, and I wanted to order it in, and I told this girl I never really do a lot of online like delivery stuff, and so I was like, "Can you just do this for me?" And she's like, "Sure," and I was like, "I'll pay for it if you just do it," and she's like, "Okay," and I was thinking it wasn't going to be that much, so I was just like, "Don't worry, like just here's my account." I didn't even ask her how much it was. And then
Rookie mistake.
and she was so like, she felt really bad, and she's like, "I don't even want to tell you how much this is."
That's probably when they should tell you.
Yeah. Well, she couldn't get the price for some reason. Like she couldn't
really?
find where the price was, and I was like, "It's fine. It's probably
I
not."
don't want to tell you because I can't find it.
It was
For
it
how
was
many
it was 2 pizzas, but still
2 pizzas.
It was 2 pizzas.
I expected at least 4 minimum.
The delivery was like $20.
Jeez.
So that's really where it
tip
kind of
them?
Wait, was this in Chicago?
No,
No tip?
It was.
no, it comes with it. It comes with that.
I was like, wow.
Wait, was this in Chicago though?
Yeah.
Oh,
This was,
okay, that kind of makes sense then.
But I mean,
That is still rough.
that's the one thing about living in Chicago is food. Like
Food.
it's so much.
Do you live around any grocery stores?
So surprisingly, you think, because I live in Lincoln Park and they're like renowned for like their restaurants and some like really good food there. But where I live specifically, you can't like there was a Whole Foods nearby, but if you were looking for something that was like cheap, because Whole Foods is expensive,
Yeah.
everything. I had to walk probably about 20-30 minutes to a grocery store before I was
Jeez.
there. They're at least like a mile out.
Yeah.
But no, it's not great there for food.
Yeah.
But
So if you want groceries, you have to be desperate.
where I am at DePaul, so like I'm moving into an apartment next year, so I actually live right next to a Target, which works for me. It's still pretty expensive, but I mean, at least
Yeah.
it's not Whole Foods. But no, the food at DePaul is about my least favorite thing at DePaul. There's
Sounds about
there's
right.
about like 3 different stations you can eat at for free, and that's their like meal plan.
Mhm.
So like I choose between a sandwich, a burger, and a pizza,
Oh, man.
and that's it. That's all they really offer. And there's like a little salad bar, but other than that, that's all you can get for free, and you're paying like a lot of money for the meal plan.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't recommend the meal plan at DePaul.
Yeah.
Sorry, DePaul.
Yeah, we
That's how
were
it
talking
is.
about delivering stuff earlier, and yeah, DoorDash itself is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who DoorDash, and I'm sure it's like nice to work for if you want like the freedom of scheduling your own hours. But to order from it, it's like
insane.
it like doubles what you already spend just because of the fees, and then you have to tip the person, and like you can't just not tip them. That's an asshole move because like
No.
they're using their gas to bring you this food. In this economy,
Exactly.
DoorDashers in unison are crying at the moment.
Have you seen like the Snapchat like Uber Eats like commercials that they put out there?
Every now and then, yeah.
And it's like like if you work for Uber Eats, you could buy things for your friends. And it's like the whole commercial. And I'm like, really? It's like,
Really?
I saved up enough money to go to the mall. And I was like, I would hope so if you're working for it was so dumb. But yeah.
Y'all seen that Uber Eats commercial where they eat the tape? They like start eating
What?
just like he's like
Oh wait, no, I
oh
know
that's like shipped or something.
Yeah.
It's like the grocery delivery.
because they're trying to
one.
like advertise that they do
Like-
more than food now. Or something.
Yeah, they're like, you can
Uh-huh.
get stuff, but it's not all food. Don't eat it all. Some
You
stuff
can
is
get-
not food.
I was in
Reminds me-
quarantine for a week,
Oh, no, go ahead.
and I like almost was forced to do. This was in college, and I was like almost forced to do like DoorDash for like a couple of days, and the damage it did on my bank account, irreversible. And it was like almost against my will, because like the food they had was like they brought me food.
Yeah. Food is so expensive. Even if you just go to like Taco Bell or McDonald's, you're spending $5-10 on a meal. But then you have to do that 2-3 times a day, 7 days a week. That adds up. Before you know it, that's like $200 down the drain just in a week.
Yeah.
Like that's so bonkers to me.
Pasta's where it's at. I mean, that's what you're gonna have
Just go
to do
get
to
pasta.
survive.
That's about
And
all I can
Yeah.
cook,
yeah,
you know?
pretty much. I gotta learn to cook so
Yeah.
I can like.
Cooking is such a useful skill. Thank you, Owen.
Shout
You're
Shout out to
welcome.
Owen for
Shout
cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Owen, how long have you been grilling? Like, when did you learn?
It's getting pretty smoky
When did I
over there.
learn?
He started today.
I've always, my grandpa especially, like, we would always have parties at like his house because he had a deck and like a pool, and he
Yeah.
would always grill. So I'd watch him and help him out, but and I'd help my dad too. He's got a nice grill, but and then I think there was just a couple nights I was like, yeah, I want to grill burgers because I've made burgers like on the stove and like on a griddle before, but never really on a grill.
Grills where
Like
it's at.
until probably 3-4 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And then I started like grilling. I do every once in a while. I don't really do it that often. So if these suck, that's why. They should be fine. They should be fine.
As long as they're
good.
not-
But you never know.
It'll
Yeah.
be better than anything I can
Don't
make.
worry, I
Owen,
trust
so
you,
it's okay.
Owen.
You do?
I do.
You shouldn't.
It'll be
I have a-
interesting, nevertheless.
Quick question. Is the lighting gonna be okay?
I watch enough cooking
We'll see.
YouTube.
Let me check on that
Just
lighting
turns,
real
like,
quick. I do
dark.
have
I
it
was
on
just
like
thinking
the
about
low
that.
light
I don't
mode,
mean
but
that.
I didn't want to bring out any ring lights.
okay.
Yeah,
I'll
bro.
check on
Where
that.
is the ring lights?
I was
That'd be such a weird.
lighting is fine.
Okay, good.
Ah.
Just me worrying.
Yeah. Thank you for letting me know because I did like think about that before, but I was not thinking about
That's
that
okay.
at the moment. But yeah.
I hope
The
the
ca-
grill lighting is okay. That's
That's the most important part. The grill cam.
We're gonna have to.
Grill cam.
I have never cooked pineapple on the grill before, though.
Oh, there's
so.
That's exciting. Yeah, we got some
Put some
pineapple. Did you see it?
For the
For the
You want me to
burgers.
get some watermelon on there?
You want to put some pineapple on your burgers?
I've never even.
You want just a
thought of
grilled
that.
pineapple on the
Yeah.
side?
I could, yeah. Of
Oh,
course.
and throw an
Yeah.
extra pineapple on the grill for Chris,
I mean,
just to have
I'll
on the
try it
side.
out.
Yeah, dude, I'm making a bunch of them.
Oh, sick.
So,
We're not gonna pay you
send
anymore
it
though.
to
People put it on their
Thanks, water.
burgers.
Yeah, like the Hawaiian burger. You get it with some like.
maybe.
Yeah, get it. It's actually quite delicious.
Maybe
I had it for
I'm
the
cultured.
first time a few years ago. Like, I like when I go to a restaurant, I want to get something unique and exotic.
Interesting.
Like, if I'm going, like, if you're gonna be spending a lot of money at a restaurant, you might as well get something other than the lasagna. But
I was gonna say
Oh, no.
I eat like
I
Subway
lost a
like
burger, guys.
3 days a week.
For real.
But I'm talking like if you're gonna go out to a fancy restaurant, you gotta get something that like that has like the chef's kiss on it. You know, something that they specialize in. Now, Hawaiian burgers aren't exactly like special or anything, but there's not too many places that serve them. So I tried it out, and it's actually quite nice.
Maybe I'll try. Maybe I'll.
Yeah,
slide it
it's got like a nice dynamic between like the sweetness and like the meatness.
The meatness of
for
the
a lack of
pineapple.
a better word. We were talking about ads earlier. Have you guys seen that swapped mansion ad on Instagram? No.
Swapped mansion.
Swapped mansion. It's like it's one of those mobile game ads.
Are you talking
Oh,
about like
no.
the one was like the girl and she's like,
The one
Oh my
with the
God.
grandma.
yeah, and the
Yeah.
grandma. Yeah, I've seen that. It's so weird.
It's so weird because you go like it's like an intriguing ad because every single one is different and it's always videos of it focuses around this daughter who is in a very close relationship with her grandma, sees her like every single day, and like anytime she's hanging out with her grandma, like weird things happen, like the house will burn down and then it'll show a cam of like, ooh, the grandma might have started it.
Yeah, it's like your dad is dead, and then it's like merged together the garden hose.
Yeah,
Cut to that. I don't understand it.
But yeah, it's interesting going into the comments of that because everyone's like, "Woo, new swapped mansion lore." Girlfriend, wake up! We got some new lore dropped. Just make the Netflix movie already. Netflix, what are you doing? Hop on this. You spend money on anything. Speaking of which, have you guys seen Stranger Things?
Yeah.
The new one?
I've
Yes.
seen just the first season.
Just the
of
first
Stranger
season.
Things, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I've seen like one episode of season 3. That's about
Season
it.
3,
I'm
gotcha.
sorry.
Oh, on the last season, not like the new one.
Yeah, it was like I was just with some friends in like 2019. They were
Fair
like,
enough.
"We just put
Fair
on the
enough.
First episode. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. Are there any? I know me and Mike, we like to binge Outer Banks. Like anytime, anytime it
that.
comes out with a new season, we just sit down and watch it.
Oh,
Yeah.
All
I
night.
saw
Yeah.
the
All
main
in
dude
one.
at a gas station. What's
You saw
name?
the
John
John
B?
B. You saw
Yeah,
John B.
He was in Malibu just
And you didn't drop down and suck his dick immediately.
I was thinking about it. But
Wait, you met John B?
I didn't
You met
meet him.
the John
I
B?
saw
him
it.
from like 2 pumps away.
2
And I was
pumps
like,
away.
I think that's John B.
I think.
And then you
that
just
might be
drove
it.
away, and I was like, oh.
John B.
You
Just
kind of
like
look like
turns
John
around.
B, just a little bit.
He's like turns
you-
around. You're like sprinting
I
at him.
appreciate that. Though. I take that as a compliment.
This dude's going around the OBX. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have no idea what Owen's talking about. Yeah, but that's like it's like the best unintentional comedy. Like I don't know how people can watch that and take it
is
seriously.
Like so bad that
It's
What is
it's
it
one of those
about?
things.
I've never seen Outer Banks.
They hunt for treasure.
Well, spoiler alert for the second season. There's this one scene where the love interest of John B. She's on a table. I think she got shot in the abdomen or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets
I
intense.
thought it was like comedy.
No, it's an
Just points
unintentional
and
comedy.
laughs.
No, it was really funny. It was a really funny scene, not for the right reasons though. But she's on this table dying, and they bring you really close to thinking that she's actually dead, and you just think in your head, "Wow, this is a really ballsy move of them." And then I don't know how she made it, but she made it, and I was so upset. Like not because. I mean, all the characters are bad, but like she wasn't particularly bad or anything. I wasn't like wishing death upon her. I was just like, I was so ready to be impressed by a character, especially a big one, getting killed off. And I feel like that would have played such a big role in the story. Like, oh, if this girl's gone, what's John B gonna do now? Is he still gonna continue with his mission, or is he gonna give up on everything? I feel like it would have added another layer to all the drama.
Dude, I had that same exact feeling with the new season of Stranger Things. I was like, they either got to kill this person off or
Right.
or save
Oh.
them in an amazing way.
Yeah.
And then they did save them in a cool way. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
No
I prefer
spoilers,
it when
but
the characters die in movies.
Me too.
But like, I don't know. Like, I like it when the producers are just like,
funny. Except when the dog dies. Then that's
Yeah.
that
Oh,
makes
so
me
messed
feel-
up.
You can't kill the dog.
I
But
had
kill
a-
any person.
I have a lot of respect for like. I never even watched it because my parents literally spoiled everything of it. But like Game of Thrones, they would kill off their main characters like all the time.
Yeah,
And-
first season.
Yeah, they killed off the main character.
guy.
Yeah,
the
you know.
guy. I already forgot his name, but
Ned.
he was important.
Boromir?
Yeah, Ned
Yeah,
Stark.
sorry
He
for
was in
anybody
Game of
trying
Thrones
to.
named Ned.
Anyone who hasn't
Watch
gotten past
Game
the
of
first
Thrones.
season and how old is it? Like 10 years old?
Yeah. My dad was so upset about Ned dying that he made an Xbox 360 account called Ned Lives on my.
Now that is a true man.
True hero.
Yeah, no, I feel like there's too many like happy, very very
Disney-esque.
yeah, exactly, Disney-esque endings in movies where like you just have so much more appreciation when they are willing to go for maybe not just like a completely sad ending, but like bittersweet.
Yeah.
Have you seen that Pete Davidson movie? Like,
Oh, King of Staten Island.
no, it was the one before that. It was
Oh.
him and like a little kid.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't see that one.
But yeah, just basically, it just ends really bad. He's like, thinks Pete Davidson's a drug addict, and he like doesn't fuck with him.
Yeah.
And yeah, like more movies need to do that because they're all too happy nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Ozark as well. If you've ever watched
I've
Ozark,
never watched
that's
that.
a really good. They just came out with like their last final season.
Oh,
and it
really?
was,
Parents are
Spoil
amazing.
all of it right
Yeah.
now, Miles.
yeah. What's that?
Spoil all of it right now.
I will not do that because that's
But
more
anyway.
recent than Game of Thrones. So.
Yeah. But are there any particular character deaths? You don't have to specify characters or anything, but
So I really like because they build up a lot of these because Ozark's about a family who gets involved with like the mafia and like the drug cartels and stuff like that, and they're trying to get out of it, but it's really hard to explain
Yeah.
like the character stuff. But essentially, they always build it up so that like the mob, like the drug people and the dealers, are just like these super powerful, like no one can touch them, and then they kill them like all the time. Not, I mean, but like
Yeah.
they make all of the people you think in the show that are like invincible because they have so many people and protections and stuff. they just take them out, or like they'll take out somebody important in the show. I don't want to like specify too much.
Yeah, don't specify anything.
But,
we don't even know the names of the characters, so it doesn't.
Yeah, no, but somebody's gonna get mad at me.
Yeah, that's why I really like Attack on Titan.
I have
Specifically,
watched the first season.
Okay. All right. Well, you know in the first season they already kill off a ton of people.
Yeah.
I like a show like that. Like they have zero issue with making you like they'll bring in a new set of characters, make you care about them, and then kill off all of them. They'll kill off characters that have been there since the beginning of the series. In the most recent one, they killed off like the entire military.
That's cool.
Yeah, just like just like stuff like that where I love it when just anything in general, any medium of entertainment just is willing to take a risk because there's just so much of the samey these days. And they're like and to Hollywood's credit, to like filmmakers' credit, a lot of that is because they've figured out like the specific, I guess, set of rules on how to make a good movie. But like with Marvel movies, they're fun. Like they're objectively good movies, but I feel like watching any of them, you feel like you're watching the same superhero movie over and over and over. However, I have not seen the new Doctor Strange, which I wanna, because I hear that since Sam Raimi, the guy who directed the original Spider-Man trilogy, was directing that one was a bit of a break of form.
Have you ever seen?
Isn't it scary?
I hear a little bit.
Oh man.
Unfortunately, I've not watched it. So.
Have you ever seen The Boys?
Oh no, but
No.
I've seen like you've shown me bits and pieces of it.
Yeah, if you're tired of the good Marvel movies that are like, you know, this is objectively good and this is objectively evil, and we already know who the good and bad characters are. The Boys is like the exact opposite of that, and I think it's a very entertaining show. They also just came out with a new season of that.
Yeah.
So there's so much media to watch nowadays. It's crazy. Like
There's
like,
so much to watch, and I have zero time to watch any of it. It is bonkers. Like I recently just got into watching that one anime. I think it had a bunch of ads on Instagram, and it got really popular out of nowhere. But it's called Spy Family, Spy X Family, and it's about this. It's about this spy whose mission is to infiltrate a boarding school, not a boarding school, but like it's this very prestigious school. And because there is this like high profile like government person whose son goes there, and the only way to make contact and be able to get information on this government official is to infiltrate the school, somehow make contact with the son, and somehow get the son to introduce you or meet this person. So this spy has to put together a fake family, and consisting of a wife and a daughter, and get her into this prestigious school, and then keep everything together. And at the same time, the wife has no idea that she's a part of this the secret mission. The daughter knows only because she has telepathic powers. But
oh yes, of course.
But the dad, the spy, is still trying. Like he doesn't know that she has telepathic powers, so he's trying to keep the whole thing a secret from her. And it's interesting because each person in that family has their own secret that they're trying to keep away from the other members of the family. But there's still like this very lovey-dovey, very romantic family. It's just like a very interesting dynamic. It is actually like a really happy anime. It does get like gory at times, but it's not. It's just very happy. Very unlike the other animes I've been watching recently, like Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer.
Not to get off topic, but I mean not really off topic, but do you watch anime subbed or dubbed?
There's specific ones that I like to watch dubbed. Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, I would argue that the dub is actually better, because the voice actors, like with most anime, when you watch the dub, it just like the dialect, just the way Japanese people say things, it sounds natural in their language, but you try to translate that to English and it just sounds corny.
Well, like, because they try to match the movement of the
That
mouth.
too.
And so
There's a
instead
lot of different
saying,
things
like,
that go into it, yeah.
hey there, they'll be like, greetings there, friend. And it'll be
Yeah.
like so.
And other things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many things that, I mean, kudos to those voice actors for being able to do all of that, but it doesn't make the result any better. But there are a couple really good ones. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Neon Genesis Evangelion, I think, was a really good dub.
That was a trip.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. That movie is
That-
not okay. Like,
Oh, you haven't even watched the show, though.
No,
we just showed you the movie.
you just showed me the movie, which is
fucked.
horrible to watch. Like, horrible and like not like it's a bad movie, but just like it messes with your brain so much that. Yeah, it doesn't open with the best scene either. No. I'm sorry, Chris. You probably don't know what we're referencing, but yeah, he had us. They all came over to my place, and then Daniel was like, "I know exactly what movie we need to watch today."
We were trying to blow Josh's mind, right?
Just ruin his night.
We needed to show him something that he had never seen before, and I think that did it perfectly. Succeeded greatly.
Ah,
Perfect.
Yeah, how's burger time over there?
How's burger time, Owen?
It is burger time.
Is it actually burger time?
It is burger
time. All right, we're gonna take a quick break while we eat these burgers.
I thought we were gonna eat them. Like,
yeah.
I
we
mean,
want to
if you guys want to eat it at the same time, the thing is that we're also holding onto microphones, so I don't know if
can,
that's
like,
gonna.
I mean, just like
set the chewing noise in them.
Yeah.
we could maybe return individually and just talk about our burgers.
Yeah.
Might
All right.
like
In 3,
munching from me on this
2,
side.
1, and we're back. Jeez, the fire just attacked Chris.
The fire knows.
We were talking about old photos right before this, and I just wanted to say, Eli, I still have the picture of you green screen or in front of the green screen. There's several pictures, but the one I'm thinking of specifically is of you like pretending to be on a motorcycle. It's so poorly done, but it's beautiful.
There's a whole collection of those. There's me playing basketball and whatnot.
I really like the one of Mike in front of the green screen, and it's just in front of like anime beach volleyball. That one's wonderful.
Yeah.
You guys definitely don't have any old pictures of me though.
I have none. Never. No.
You
I
have
have
old
one.
pictures of
I
you
have
one.
Yeah, I believe I have one.
on like
I
your
got a couple.
Instagram. There's some older pictures of you on there. I believe.
I got like
For the public to see.
I've got like
Yeah.
every picture from the DC trip that you're in. So like,
Yeah.
Nobody saw that.
Daniel, I know you got that one video of me that comes out around my birthday time.
Oh yeah, I post that every year of you getting birthed out of your little brother.
Yeah.
And Damien's the doctor.
Yeah. But
It's a perfect video.
yeah, it's okay. We don't need to bring that one back.
No, I'm gonna
That
post it again this year. I have to.
No, it's
It's
okay. You really
a
don't.
it's a
I got it.
moral obligation.
No, it's okay. I'll forgive you. You don't.
But it is kind of strange how in every single moment we think we're so cool, so whatever, like we're the coolest we're ever gonna be ever, and then you wait a year, and then you just look back on yourself before like you were such an I have that up myself. I feel like that's a nifty picture.
It is,
Miles,
but you look a lot
Miles just
different.
showed me a picture of myself next to a squirrel.
Yeah. But your
That
hair
was-
is like way shorter.
Yeah, that was
which
from
is crazy.
7th grade when I just started growing it out.
Yeah.
And I had a bit of a Jew fro, so I always wore a beanie when I could.
Yeah.
I remember that. They called me Jew Fro Dan for a while.
I feel like that was 6th grade because I feel like by the time that I came into middle school with you guys, you had already had like longer hair.
No.
Like-
I remember it was 7th grade.
He
Was
sorta
it?
had shorter hair.
Was
when
it
we-
shorter?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
that yearbook photo. Like he looks totally different.
Yeah. Back in 6th
Because
grade.
I remember your 6th grade ID and the way it looked, and how short hair you had.
Sixth-
Yeah.
Think about this. 6th grade is closer to 5th grade then or not 5th grade.
Stop right there.
That's really close to 5th grade.
That's gross.
No,
That's
it's closer to 1st grade than it is to us right now. I feel like that's a bit of a I feel like that's just so weird to think about because I don't know. 6th grade feels like it doesn't feel close, but it doesn't feel like that far away.
It's like memorable, you know. Like
Yeah.
I could pull back a
happening.
memory maybe or two.
Uh-huh.
Not like pretty
Like-
distinctly.
I can remember 6th grade pretty all right. I can't remember 5th grade.
Yeah.
Like I can remember 7th grade, Eli pulling in with
Yeah.
the beanie.
Yes. I wore beanie
And
seventh
he
grade.
never took it off.
Never took it off.
I feel like high school it felt like so long to me right now.
Mm.
Yeah.
I already feel like it.
It was so long ago.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, last time we were in
Removed
school was
from
so
my
long ago.
Yeah.
It
You know, like
was.
actually in school.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's true.
I only
Yeah.
went back to school for like a month at like the tail end.
I never
of all
went
of
back
it.
to school.
Yeah. I wasn't planning on it, but I
Yeah.
was like really struggling with a class that I had to go in for. So, yeah.
If I'm being totally honest, like I've probably said this before, but like I like right about halfway through junior year, like I was about to drop out just because my anxiety was getting terrible and I was not doing good in school. And I'd already switched from gifted to Kappa, and I was like, you know what, I'll just go to online school, whatever. And then I got my wish.
Was COVID really what kept you going?
You know, a little bit. It was nice to sit in my room and get high and then go to school. No, but yeah, it honestly did help me a lot. Senior year was honestly my best year in school. Like I did the best I've ever done, except I never turned in my econ final.
Uh-huh.
So that was awesome, but I still passed.
Did you go to Auburn all the way through?
Yes, I went to Auburn all the way through.
You're one of the
You are the
Yes.
only one here.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I was technically at Auburn. Technically,
I mean,
though.
I dropped out of gifted my sophomore year just because I was getting, D's and C's and everything, and I could tell it definitely affected my GPA terribly. Like I probably would have gotten like a Rockford Promise like scholarship or something like that if I hadn't been in gifted. So I kind of regret staying there at least my sophomore year because I knew by my freshman year like this wasn't working out very well. But then when I switched over to Kappa, which thank God I'm decent at editing and stuff like that, or else I would have had no other choice and would have had to go to like East or something. But yeah.
Yeah,
That's really what
COVID kind of saved my grade too. I mean, I was at Rock Valley, and for the most part, Rock Valley wasn't bad. But there were a couple classes, particularly my speech class. Like I'm decent at speeches, but there was this particular assignment where it wasn't even like there was a speech at the end, but the bulk of the assignment was going around to different businesses and trying to convince them to let you put like a donation jar out for this fundraiser that we were doing and stuff like that. Like you had to actually go out and make business deals, and it was like, okay, my grade's gonna suffer from that one.
Yeah, I feel like that's.
But then COVID happened, fundraiser got canceled, and we didn't have to do anything for the rest of the year for that class.
Yeah.
So it kind of saved my grade in that class. There were like, I don't know, a lot of teachers did give up. Not only like professors at Rock Valley, but I feel like a lot of the teachers in high school too. Just were just
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
Especially junior year, I think, yeah.
I've heard of people's
Jesus.
grades getting they got frozen like right when COVID hit.
Yeah.
So you like
Some
literally
people-
couldn't go down.
No.
So like
Yeah.
there was just no point. I think.
Yeah.
That's finals both years where they couldn't affect your grade
That's
poorly.
Yeah. it's just-
At least at Auburn, they couldn't affect your grade poorly. They could only, which was kind of fucked because I didn't turn in my econ final, and that definitely affected my grade poorly. But
they didn't want to like expel anyone for
Yeah.
their academics. Like they were
Yeah,
just like
they were
let's-
losing too many people already.
Yeah, exactly. They just wanted to like have the numbers to make it look like
Like
they
my-
put all these kids through,
yeah, and my
even though a lot of them failed. I know
Yeah.
a lot of them
yeah,
did.
and my buddy Sean, unfortunately, he was just one of those ones that just he couldn't really learn with COVID, and he just didn't really have the tools to make it right through, and I feel bad for them. But and then there's people like me who thrived when COVID happened, and did a lot better.
Well, half the teachers couldn't even teach with COVID either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like nobody knew what they were doing, which was
Old.
the older ones didn't do well.
Which-
Started to Zoom and just like stared in the camera.
I could definitely see a lot of the kids in my classes were struggling, and I was definitely doing a lot better than they were. But I think that was also because I was coming from gifted classes into like classes that I should have had before the classes I already had. So it was like it was a little easier for me. But
Yeah, coming back to school for like a month or two at the tail end of it. I had a teacher. I won't name him, but I loved him. My favorite teacher the whole time there, and he was super like flamboyant and like super fun to like he was super engaging with the class and like just one of my favorite dudes to get taught by. But I came back right at the end and his energy was just gone and it felt so bad. I was like, because he was so passionate about teaching, and like, not that I think that went away, but I think with just COVID at the tail end of it, it was so crazy. Like just seeing how much the energy had changed for some of the teachers. So I know a lot of teachers I would like recommend now to like kids that are a couple years younger than me.
Are you talking about the boy over at Guilford? Or are you talking about the math?
Oh, I'm talking. Okay, yeah. So they're also that boy. Yeah. Both of them kind of had their moments. So I wasn't referring to him, but I know what we're talking
I
about.
don't like the other one.
Yeah, I know you don't. But yeah, sorry. This makes like no sense to somebody outside here.
no, it's okay. I had that same experience. Like I was just talking about my econ class, but everyone loved our econ teacher so much, and I hated him with a passion. And I could tell he did not like me either. And he got really snooty with my mom one time when they were like on parent teacher conferences, and he's like, and she's like, he's like, look, you need to know the difference between extrinsic and intrinsic motivation. And she's like, yeah, I know what those are. I have a master's in education. He's like, oh God, oh yeah, and he just totally backpedaled after that. But it's like, yeah, this
Teachers
like,
hate it when you don't buy into their bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a teacher. This is when I was like sweating really hard for classes and stuff, and I had 104% in her class. And I dropped to like a 98%.
Oh, no.
And during a parent-teacher conference, I know, right? And that was her exact reaction. No, during a parent-teacher conference, she said, I don't think your son is putting in a lot of effort in my class. And I have a 98% in your class.
Yeah.
And she was like ragging on me in front of my parents. And my parents turned around and they're like, Miles, you must not be doing too well in that class. And they were all like really concerned. Like, did you see my grade? And they're like, no. I was like, this is the easiest class I've taken. And they're like, really? I was like, yeah, this is, I don't name the teacher, but she's been fired now, I think, actually. So
Congrats.
Yeah, she was very interesting. Her whole class was based off of like, do you participate in my class? Not, do you know anything about Spanish? So, I'm sorry, all the Spanish teachers out there. I haven't met a single one of you that I like. I can't. I'm sorry.
How do people's career plans compare to when they first were going into college and now? First of all, have any of your plans stayed the same for any of you?
No.
Everyone's shaking their head. No. Oh, Eli, yours is pretty.
Yeah. I'm just gonna I'm planning on going to med school still.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Respect.
But like everyone else is switching up. Chris, yours is switching
I'm
up quite
switching up
drastically.
a lot. I don't know if I'll be going back to. I might take a gap year. I have not found what I'm looking for in terms of education.
You were doing like film, right?
Yeah.
I want to say, yeah.
And
That's
I've
awesome.
been like into that stuff for my entire life. Like I begged my dad like when I was like 9 to get like a Windows Movie Maker and all that stuff. Like so I know that that's like what I'm doing and but the school aspect of it was just not for me, and like I was just thinking about what that could get me into, and I'm just not interested in that. So finding some way to keep with the camera stuff, keep with making stuff, and not I don't know. It's,
Yeah, if you
I know
like
what you
worked
mean.
on that for a year like by yourself, like Daniel did, like, and rather than go to school and try to
Yeah.
do it there, I feel like that's just more beneficial now.
That's-
That's kind of what
Yeah.
you're thinking
That's
about
exactly
now,
what I'm
right?
gonna do because I have some stuff going. Actually, I have. Can I not do a self promotion? But I have.
Dude, at the
I got
end, I was gonna be
I got
like,
something
"Does everyone want to
fun
plug something?" Oh, you got something?
have.
Oh, is it a business card?
Stickers.
Oh, stickers.
Whoa.
That's awesome.
You made a
Stickers
sticker.
because I hated TikTok, but now
Awesome.
I like.
Let me see the sticker.
On TikTok.
I've always hated TikTok, and
Yeah.
then
It says follow
but yours
Chris
been
Kellogg
blowing up a
on
little
TikTok,
bit.
and it's got
I
this
made a
nice.
TikTok, and I was like, "This is kind of fun because I can crank them out." You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
making videos, but I could just make one quick one a day.
I
It
understand,
takes like
dude.
30 minutes. I've actually found it, so I made a TikTok.
Not to step in, but imagine making a full video every day.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah.
In all
Yeah.
fairness, most of them were like simple gaming videos, but
Yeah.
No, that's
just keeping up with it all the time.
Even a
Crazy
simple
fun.
gaming video. I've been sitting on a video I filmed on 420 for. When was 420? 3 months ago.
Yeah.
I just been sitting on it. I just been
Yeah.
sitting on it.
I have so many videos that I'm sitting on right now. Ever since I put out like that video essay video, I've been so behind
Yeah.
on keeping up with videos.
That was a really good video, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
That's
no-
probably the most effort I put into any video for my channel so far, and I do think it paid off. But
That's
now it's
good.
leaving me struggling to keep up with everything I'm trying to do now. And the thing is, like, I've been doing gaming videos for a year, right?
Yeah.
With some different things thrown in, but I don't know, especially at this point. I feel like that was really good for working on editing and video production and like getting good at it. I was decent at it at the beginning, but like, you know, we like ironed out the wrinkles over time, and there's so much smoke in my eyes. But yeah, just like improving on the craft over the course of the year. Gaming videos were really good for that, and like I grew up playing a ton of video games. I really enjoy the medium, so of course it only made sense. But at this point, I feel like it's hard figuring out where to improve on, and I feel like I have so much more to offer than just simple gaming videos. So yeah, I am trying out different things like video essays. I want to get more into vlogging.
I really like when I like all your videos. I mean, I like all your videos, but the ones that you like, even the one you just did about like you in New York, where you just like sat and
Yeah.
talked to the camera. I thought you did that.
Yeah, I really like videos of that. That was inspired by Moist Critical because he does a ton of those videos.
Yeah.
And I think you did
Where he's
well.
just sitting down, telling a story either about himself or something else that happened, and I just thought, you know, this is like a really simple thing, but I was really drawn in, and you know, he doesn't put nearly as much editing into his videos as I do, so I feel
No.
like, you know, if I can have just as interesting of stories and edit them a little better, like, do the math here.
Yeah. Exactly.
You took this one idea from him too. I think you said in one of your streams, like just like a stream and watch a bunch of YouTube videos that people
Yeah.
recommend. I didn't make it to the stream, but I really wanted to because like I watch Moist Critical do it
Yeah.
sometimes. And
Yeah.
yeah, just small stuff like that. Have you had any other ideas?
Nothing in particular. I want to get more into like.
A podcast with 6 people.
Yeah. Oh, this actually kind of stems from that same idea. Like, how do I improve the podcast? How do I change something up? Because I did some searching, and like, there's like zero podcasts around a bonfire. And it just seems like it feels like it makes sense, even
does.
though it is
I like
like
that.
it is a hard thing to pull off. But I mean, dude, like just between me and Owen, we set this all up, and I hope everything turns out nicely in the end.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. But I think we got like a good system going. But
I
anyway.
mean, we've been talking about this for a couple months. Haven't we?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
like,
it's been
because we filmed a video. That video hasn't even gone up yet.
No, I just started editing
Okay,
it.
that's good, you know. But yeah, we filmed a video and we were just like, yeah, I want to do this. I was like, but I just don't have the mics for it. And I was like, you're talking to the right guy.
Yeah. But yeah, back to the original point. Yeah, we were talking about like other ideas I've had. I want to get more into, I guess, sketch comedy.
Yeah.
Actually, Chris, I already pitched this to you, but Owen, I had you in mind as well. I just thought of this idea where it's kind of like old iDubbbz-esque, or like his old sketch comedy videos where it's almost just like him and all his friends messing around, but it's like a storyline.
Yeah.
But I just thought it would be really funny if. So in my fourth Civilization video, I had this whole get up, like I had this ghillie suit poncho, and I had like the fake beard drawn on my face. And I thought I should turn that into an actual character called Linus Blimus. And then in this first video, it was gonna be. You were gonna be dressed as a giraffe, and then you were gonna steal Chris, who's playing my boyfriend.
That sounds
And it's just
great.
like me trying to.
I don't think
Chris didn't hear the boyfriend part.
Yeah, I don't think I'm down with it. That's cool.
A giraffe stole my boyfriend. No.
I think that'd be interesting.
Yeah, it would just be like a funny video of just like you and me fighting, messing around, and then Chris is just like
I'm just the pretty boyfriend.
That's
I heard something about grapes too.
grapes.
Grape,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
a-
that one I was thinking of turning into like this filmic experience. I don't know.
the grape
Uh-huh.
experience.
like
Climax.
like it's supposed to seem like. I'm trying to think of an example of a movie, but
I just
you know, maybe this is just too unique of an idea.
probably.
But just like a video of me going around to different places, carrying around a bucket of grapes, and just like somehow turning that into an actual storyline, and like there's some deeper metaphor there.
I'll
But it's
produce
also just
some-
like a dumb video of me carrying around grapes.
Okay.
I'll produce some wacky music for you, Daniel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm actually, don't take my word for it, but I'm actually gonna do some music.
You're actually gonna post some music, Miles. I've
We've
heard
heard
this.
this for years.
I was gonna say, I shared that in your last podcast.
Yeah, you can check my Instagram bio.
Yeah.
Just it says like, I do music, but you'll
Yeah.
never see it.
just the same way I do music, yeah.
I like the problem is like I know Daniel, you experience this where you make something and you see how you can improve on it, and it's just like smoke. Just like I don't know. I'm a very big perfectionist with
Yeah.
some of the stuff that I made,
Especially with music, it's very
Yeah.
easy to nitpick.
It is very easy.
I remember watching you literally like mess with the sound of a guitar for like an hour at least,
Yeah.
just trying to get like the perfect sounding like thing for our songs and stuff like that. So yeah, I miss doing some of that. Like,
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
That's something I've been trying to learn to be better about, is to let go of that perfectionism mindset, because it is kind of the fun of it, the imperfections that come out in the end.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't, and the thing is, if you're trying to get it perfect, like absolutely perfect, it's never gonna get done.
No.
Like your project is gonna, you're always gonna find new things to nitpick at. So I think
Course.
like the best thing you can do is just do your best. Just do your best. Perfect it as much as you can at the moment, whatever that may involve, and then in the future you can just learn how to improve whatever else you're working on.
That's like I've been working on. I don't know. Let me totally mention it, but I wrote like a concept for a type of intro for Daniel's podcast, and just because he posted on a story the other day that he's looking for new ideas for it, and I was like, an intro might be cool, and so like gave him kind of a rough draft on the piano, but like I was looking, like I was playing around and at the studio and stuff, making like drum beats and stuff, and it's like this just doesn't sound right. And I was like, I know I need to get the actual instrument recorded. And I think that's where a lot of a really good sound comes in, is when you get that that sound from an amp or that hit of a snare drum just through a microphone, because you can really just judge it a little bit better yourself, especially with timing with drums and stuff, and getting it just right is and having that cool garage sound that I like is really nice.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That's partly some of my problems with when I'm producing, is
Yeah.
because most of how I produce is like selecting the instrument from the actual like electronic board
808s,
of things, and just kind of selecting like all the notes in and everything. I've been working in really cramped spaces for the past year and a half now, and that's been part of the issue. Is I've struggled to get like latency issues down with my program and stuff like that, and so it's just it's a lot of tedious work with music that you don't expect to be so tedious. And
Yeah.
after spending like an hour on a given day trying to fix a problem I have with the program or something, I'm just like, I'm gonna go play a video game. It's
Yeah.
bad, but-
Going back to the perfectionist thing, like
Mhm.
kind of like that. I think for a while, like just with like the videos I made, I was just absolutely stuck because I wasn't putting out videos, or I wasn't like making videos because they were bad, or like because I didn't want to like show that to the world. But then they were bad because I wasn't like making videos and like putting them out there. You know what I mean? Like so.
Like because you weren't like consistent with it.
Well,
It was kind of like
I
you
was
were out
just
of rhythm.
embarrassed to put something out,
Yeah.
but that's how you actually get better. So I was just stuck at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then once I put that aside, I was like, okay. Then
Well, oftentimes
Oh,
what separates
but-
the people who succeed from the ones who fail are the people who succeed are the ones who are willing to fail but keep going.
yeah,
As embarrassing
that's
as frustrating as it may be.
Mm.
I read this book. I think it's called "You Are a Badass," and
oh yeah,
she talks. The author talks about. She mentions this idea of she talked to a lot of business people, and she asked what's the number one thing, what's the number one trait about you that got you to where you are, and consistently the answer that came up was just tenacity, just the willingness to keep going no matter what. And I brought this idea up before. You know, if you keep working towards something your entire life and you never quit at it, there's only two outcomes. You either make it or you die before you make it. And death is inherent for everyone.
Yeah.
So your chances are good.
Yes.
well said. Well said.
Yeah,
I'd-
but you ever see those videos of yourself in like 6th grade and just like cry inside?
Yeah.
Yes. And
All
that's
the
all.
time.
Then you feel like, what if I'm 20 now and I look back and I'm like 30 and I look and I'm like, oh my God.
It's
bro,
all part of
everybody
the
saw
process.
that.
See, Miles, that's all part of the process, though.
Mhm.
If those things never happened to you, maybe you'd be in a similar spot, but it wouldn't be quite this spot.
No.
Yeah.
That's one thing I really kind of discovered with doing YouTube is I really gotta film it and edit it pretty dang quick, or if I keep just watching it, like I said, I've been sitting on this video for like 2 months. If I keep just watching it, I don't like the video anymore. So like I feel like I need to
Everyone dying
I need
from
to
the smoke right now.
A little bit. I'm like,
I feel like I need to film it and edit it like that while I still like it, so I can put it out and it's out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I don't think because I know if people want to watch my content, they're gonna watch it. Like you're either gonna watch it or you're not gonna. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. At least the stuff I'm trying to do, it doesn't matter if my editing's perfect or not. You know what I mean? It helped if it was pretty good, but
Man, bro, that made me cry. That was so beautiful.
I hope so.
I think we're good. Something that I learned is that it's kind of fun to upset people. Like I used to be I still am to an extent, a bit of a people pleaser. Like it's hard for me to say no. It's hard for me to like stand up for myself, I guess, and like, you know, just be willing to oppose other people. But more recently, I've been getting into just like doing whatever I want, saying whatever I want, and just being willing to do whatever, even if it upsets people. Why does this smoke go to whoever's talking?
who knows?
Who knows?
It feels like the smoke is like more now, even though there's not a lot of fire.
The smoke is alive.
Yeah.
It's like Lost. You got a smoke monster.
Yeah,
Dude.
but I have this video called "Click to 10." Maybe you guys saw it. I posted it everywhere. I have it on my YouTube channel. I have it on my TikTok. I have it on my Instagram Reels. It does really well because the thing it's like a very simple game, but it like sucks you in because it's just like, oh, what's gonna happen at 10? And I really play to that. I'm like, oh, every single time I click, it's like, oh, now we're at this number. Just wait till we get to 10. It must be something really interesting. And then you get to 9, and I'm just about to click it, and then the video restarts.
That's amazing.
When I was watching that, I like knew you're gonna do that somehow, but I was still like watching it. I was like, maybe not.
Yeah.
But,
My favorite part about posting that video, though, is going into the comments and seeing everyone saying, "Fuck you, I want my time back."
Yeah, exactly.
And like normally I'd be like, "Oh no, they don't like me," but it's
That's what it's
something
for.
about that was just like, "Yeah, you're not getting your time
No,
back.
never.
You
You're
are."
gonna go through life thinking about how you could have used those couple seconds to do anything else.
Exactly.
that video kind of did well in like an algorithm perspective too, because like the
Yeah.
more people watch it, like
It did do a little
so
better.
If, like people are like,
Why don't you?
drawn
Yeah,
to
you,
the end, you know.
you see all those like videos of just
Yeah,
like
that, like, stay to the
intentionally, like intentionally enraging things that just, I can't.
The thing is about that video is that that's actually what happens in the game. When you click the 9, it never goes to 10. It just closes out the game. So it wasn't. I wasn't trying to be misleading.
No.
Be misleading. And in fact, I had a whole part recorded afterwards where it was just like, "Oh, the game closed out. Whoa, this is crazy." But I just thought, you know what? It would be very dastardly if I never let them see the ending too,
No.
because I didn't get to see it.
No.
And it made the video a million times better, even though it made it much more upsetting.
Yeah, at least you're not like in one of those Facebook videos that like take an hour to get to the plot and then it's like not at all what they said it was gonna be. At least you got a little bit of comedy out of it, you know.
Mike,
Yes.
not to call you out or anything.
Call me out.
Okay. Just very willing, wow. No, I just wanted to ask, like,
Yes.
we just had a podcast. How about that?
We did.
Like, the last episode was you. I just
Yeah.
thought about that.
I'm here
Back to back.
again.
I watched that one. It was
Yeah.
great.
Oh, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, it's just like, I don't know. What are your plans at this point? Are you still planning on going back to Asheville?
Yeah.
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 Still doing the whole college thing, or just to be
Yeah.
there?
I'm doing some college
Yeah.
down there. I mean,
Are you? Do you imagine that you're gonna treat it kind of the same way as the first year?
yeah. Well, I want to get my GPA up higher, so I can
Yeah.
transfer somewhere else. Because I don't think I'm gonna try to stay at that school for all 4 years.
Yeah. Just
But-
be there for the experience of being in a new place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's-
trying to get
that's cool.
an apartment down there.
Yeah.
Would you try to stay in like the same area if you were gonna transfer? Like
I'd
be
probably
close.
try to go to. Well, I probably couldn't get into NC State these days, but I don't know, somewhere. Yeah, I'd stay in North Carolina probably.
That's awesome.
Okay. You want to try going just like to a completely different part of the country, maybe somewhere in Colorado up in the mountains, maybe, I don't know, maybe just go to Alaska. Why not? School full of bears.
True. I don't know. I kind of want to just finish up like school at least in North Carolina because I got a good thing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't want to switch it up too much right now.
Do you
Yeah.
think once you finish school you're gonna travel more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting out of Asheville,
Yeah.
but it's cool for now. It'll hold me for the time being.
Yeah.
Like
Not
a
for
prison
long.
cell.
I've been trying to get
my
more.
power's growing.
I've been wanting to get more into traveling lately because
Yeah.
I just don't want to get stuck.
Oh, yeah.
I've been in Rockford all my life, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The idea of traveling is scary to me for two reasons. First of all, money, because just being able to travel even to just one place can cost hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars just to get like a decent experience. And then the second reason being my mom.
Yeah.
Like telling her that I want to travel on my own without her. I'm actually currently in the middle of trying to plan out a trip to Los Angeles because there's Chris knows about it. We talked about it on the stream. Like, there's a specific tattoo shop that I want to go to and get a half sleeve done, and I just think it would just be fun to just go out and have some sort of adventure on my own without probably with other people, maybe not completely by myself, but just not with my parents. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually just this week I'm I'm just going to like Madison and Milwaukee by myself. Like that's
Yeah.
not that far, but I'm still
What
staying in a
for?
hotel. I'm going to a concert with Reese.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, 2 of them actually, the same person. But
Mhm.
yeah, we're going to Madison and then staying in a hotel and then driving to Milwaukee, staying in
Yeah.
the hotel and coming back pretty much. But even that, it's just me and him, so it's like just a little more freeing, I guess.
For
Yeah.
some reason, when I was 17, I wanted to drive to Wyoming and back, and they allowed me to do that, like alone. So I just did that. And it was
Very
sick.
fun parents.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah.
Shout out mom and dad.
I'm trying to have more of an attitude of just let.
Yeah.
Just because I used to be such a planner. I have to think of like the worst case scenario and prepare for every single thing.
Yeah.
And there goes
was
my
bad.
audience. That one is pretty gnarly. Here, let me fix the fire a little bit. Stop smoking and be more flamey.
This is nice.
This is working.
Yes.
Maybe it needs another log. Does one of you want to go
Log.
to? I have a little log pile back there. You might want to turn on a flashlight on a phone or something.
I
But
can
just
try
grab
if
any
you
log
want
and
that.
throw it on top. Chris, you got it?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Thanks for being the hero, Chris.
Yay.
Yeah. Well, to go back to what I was saying, I just want to have more of an attitude of realizing just that I'm not tied down to anything.
Yeah.
At any given moment, I don't have any it's not like, okay, I can either do this or this. It's not just like a couple of options. I can literally do anything. If I want to get in my car and just drive off somewhere, like maybe I want to go to Wyoming for a day. Why not? Let's just go. Yeah, just toss it in the fire anywhere.
One of the
Just throw it
most
right on top. The embers are hot enough where
yeah.
it'll probably catch eventually. Oh, you did light up like a completely different spot.
One of the most like freeing experiences I had was going to Ireland. It was
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That looked awesome. How was that?
It was really good. I met like the majority of my friends that I made up in college there.
That's cool.
But if there's one thing I can say, at least from my experience, the food and the drink there, better than any other place I've ever been. I got to go a lot of places, but
Did you see the Loch Ness Monster, bro?
I did not see the Loch Ness Monster.
What
I
about
apologize.
Jacksepticeye? Did you see him?
Dude, I saw him like 1,000 times.
That's awesome.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's all over.
Oh shit.
Top of the morning to you, laddies. Does anyone have any? We're gonna sit here in silence until Miles says something else.
Yeah.
Which will actually be pretty easy for him.
Dude.
Does anyone? Yeah. Does anyone else have any like travel plans or just like ideas for places they want to go?
I kind of have an issue because I feel like I want to live in so many places.
Yeah.
Because traveling is like something, yeah, it's cool, but like I feel like living there, you like really get to
Mhm.
experience that.
You do.
And I really like, I feel like I want to move like every like year, but I know that's not like sustainable. But maybe it's like for my 20s. I don't know.
Yeah. Any particular
though.
places like any
I
any
don't know.
wild
I really like
places?
in California right now.
Yeah.
I've always liked the West. Loved
Yeah.
all the mount like Colorado, Utah. Trying to think. I do love North Carolina, Tennessee area, stuff like that. So I'm like, that's on my radar. I want to go like off the grid one year and go to like Alaska, just
Yeah, dude. I'd love to
Yeah.
go to Alaska. At
chill
some
some
point.
bears.
I had the advantage, but my biological mom, she moved to like Florida when I was a little kid, so I lived out there for a little bit, and then she moved other side of the country to like Seattle, pretty much, and so I was living out there too, and it's really interesting to see like the two like different sides of the countries, the two different like the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, And it's really, I love the Pacific Northwest, and I wouldn't even say Washington that much. It's very pretty in Washington, but like Oregon is very, very beautiful.
You ever been to Montana?
I have. It's cool there. My mom actually got arrested in Montana. My biological mom.
Badass.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Mike, you brought up that you wanted to travel. Are there any specific places you have in mind?
I'm going to the beach.
You're going to the beach? Yeah. Which one?
Myrtle Beach.
Hey, oh, okay.
Dude, my buddy Z lives there.
I'll hit him up.
Yeah. Please.
Yeah.
Get in contact
You-
with him.
I will.
UNZ.
Yeah. chilling it.
Eli, did you have any plans to travel?
No,
Or any ideas?
Not really.
Not really.
I
Is
don't
this
really-
something you want to do?
I mean, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But I didn't grow up traveling. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like I think Chris was saying, what we have to do as kids is go sit in a parking lot. I feel like as for vacations, it's like, hey, let's go to the Wisconsin Dells or something.
Yeah.
So I grew up
Yeah.
on like those
Six
vacations.
Flags.
Yeah.
Magic
I got
Waters.
lucky enough to go to Hawaii once though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sick.
sick.
Yeah.
When was that?
That was freshman year summer.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, going
gotcha.
into sophomore year.
When I was a
Sick.
kid, I thought Wisconsin was the coolest place on earth.
This is the coolest place on earth.
Vacation.
State, bro.
I-
Cheese.
That's what I always thought, like Wisconsin Dells was heaven on earth, because I've never been there ever, still to this day.
Wow.
And so like I would hear all these kids be like, I just got back from the Dells, bro. It's so awesome. What? Yeah. Yeah, like you can't go farther to Wisconsin.
I thought Wisconsin Dells was like a nationwide like thing. When I went to, I told my like college friends about it. I was like, yeah, like when I was a kid, I went to the Dells, and they're like, what? And I, of course, never heard of the Wisconsin Dells, but I thought it was more relevant. But
Yeah.
like, no one cares.
I guess
Really?
if you had to call it
Yeah.
Wisconsin Dells.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
That's
Even
it's,
then, it's like
yeah, it's the Disney World for the Midwest,
Yeah.
pretty much.
I've
Yeah.
always thought of like Wisconsin as kind of like the same as, I don't know. I've always like, it's so close. I never like Madison and that type of area. Like it's just the same to me as like Illinois or anything.
Oh, no way.
It
No
really
way.
like we're pretty similar, like being north, but you go like anywhere below Rockford and it's totally different.
Southern Illinois is scary.
Yeah,
No,
We're not
it's,
scared, but it's
it's
just
sort of
weird.
gross.
It
like,
is.
I like Northern Illinois.
I like
compared to
Northern
Southern
Illinois too.
Southern Illinois is a weird place.
That's
Like,
I was saying too, like this is gonna be like my first time traveling, but I guess by myself at least. But like I was saying, with my biological moms lived in Florida and stuff, like I would travel like on a plane by myself. Like I guess I got a little sick of planes after that, but
Yeah.
I just prefer to go on it with other people because it gets terribly boring when you're just sitting by yourself trying to watch fucking whatever the fuck they got on the flight, you know. It's like I've seen The Big Lebowski so many times, I don't want to watch it again.
We were talking about Wisconsin Dells earlier, and I remember me and my parents got sucked into a timeshare up there, which very bad move. But I mean, in all fairness, it did give us a lot of opportunities to go up there. But I don't know. Like I love my parents, I love my family, but they're not like the most fun people to vacation with. One time in particular, I remember we went up to Wisconsin Dells, and we were there for the weekend, and I just remember it both rained and my dad got the worst food poisoning in his life. So the entire vacation was us just sitting in our hotel room. It was actually a cabin, in our little cabin, and I watched every single Naruto movie.
Nice.
And then we went back to Rockford to sit in a different place.
Yep. That's how it goes.
Daniel,
What?
I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick.
No, pee
I
on the
have
fire.
Take the mic. Take
Take the mic with you. Take the mic with you, Miles. No, we're losing him to the bathroom.
Good luck.
Mike, you now have the
talking.
responsibility of 2
Serious
microphones.
as
What happens if I talk in both of them?
Your voice will just be extra loud
Cool.
in post.
I got so much power right now.
How does it feel?
Override everything.
A little overwhelming.
Double
know
mic,
why.
Mike.
Yeah.
Just
But-
Mike.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm fighting the urge really hard.
Microphone,
What, to
mic.
have both of them up by
Yeah.
your mouth?
Bro, I've got 2 microphones, except one of them's on my body.
He's
Oh, wait.
wearing a wire.
Is it a tattoo?
Yes.
Oh, shit. I didn't
it's,
know.
it's actually a Shure SM87.
Whoa.
That's one of the ones you got over there.
Oh, dang.
Because
Okay. I didn't even know you had a tattoo.
yeah, this is the only one I had. I got it on my 18th birthday.
Oh.
With my mom actually.
That's kind
That
of
was a while ago, damn.
Where'd you get it done at?
Odds and Ends tattoo.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay,
so that's
yeah.
like down the street from here.
Yeah,
a little
it's
bit.
on Alpine. Yeah, my mom gets all hers done there, and she was like, "Yeah, for your 18th birthday, like, let's get halfway kind of matching tattoos." And she got a different like an old, there's like, you know, the microphones that got like the ring around them, like the
Yeah.
old microphones. Like she got one of those on her arm, and I got the Shure SM 87 because those are the microphones my dad's always had and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a little memory for
Yeah.
me, and I've always used them.
Yeah. When I brought up that I wanted to do this trip to Los Angeles for a half sleeve, and I told my mom about it, but I didn't tell her that I wanted to get a whole half sleeve. She's not necessarily against tattoos, but every time I tell her about getting one, she's like, "Okay, you have to put it somewhere where no one will see it." So I didn't tell her that I wanted a half sleeve. I just told her, "Okay, I want to go to Los Angeles for this tattoo." And then there's this it's a tribal tattoo. So they have this whole questionnaire of that you have to fill out so that they can like design your tattoo, give you like specific symbols that pertain to your life story. And then of course I also had to answer what I wanted and where I wanted it. Oh, welcome back, Miles.
Hello.
You're not
Yeah.
welcome.
You
Leave.
guys talked shit about me while I was gone?
Yeah.
Yeah, all of it.
all so much. You'll watch it later.
Oh yeah, you'll hear this. But I just remember her. I wasn't trying to show her the part where I answered where I wanted it, but she must have just been looking around, like on my questionnaire. I was getting help from her because like it's a Filipino tribal tattoo, and she knows like all the Filipino stuff that I need to fill out. But anyway, she saw that I wanted a half sleeve, and immediately she goes, "A half sleeve?" She's like, "Yeah, I want a half sleeve." She's gonna be very upset when she finds out that I want to get both arms covered.
What made you pick the LA place?
It's one of the only shops that does these style of tattoos.
Okay.
I'm sure there's others around, but that one's like the most well known, and and like the guy who started the shop, he actually went to the Philippines and studied under the Filipino tattoo artists that lived there. Yeah, there's just this. Tattoos are very frowned upon in the Philippines now. Well, I think they're opening up to it now since like tattoos are so common. But just because Christianity and Catholicism is so ingrained in culture now, ever since the Spanish kind of took over and converted everyone, tattoos are very frowned upon. But before then, apparently there's this deep history of tattoos. There were different tribes amongst the islands, and when the Spanish first landed there in the Philippines, they called these people the painted people just because they were so prolific with their tattoos. They were just covered.
That's awesome.
And then just about all of that went away, and there's very few people who like have a genuine understanding of those styles of tattoos.
That's cool.
So yeah.
I kind of want to like I don't know at all like any more tattoos I want. Like I've got a kind of like an idea for like one. Like I definitely want to get like some of my favorite albums somehow like put on there. But like I want to die with like almost my whole body covered in tattoos almost. Like just slowly
Be like,
but surely.
Sexy Vegan. Do you know who that is?
I've heard of that.
He's the guy that showed up on Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
Like, you just have to pull up a picture of him.
Did he have a lot of tattoos of lettuce?
The dude was
He had
nuts.
sexy vegan
on his forehead. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
It kind of reminded me if like Mark went down a different path. Like,
If Mark was vegan.
yeah, no.
Yeah, my dad's covered in tattoos.
Oh
like,
yeah, well he's a tattoo artist, isn't he?
yeah, he was.
He was okay.
Yeah, my brother's trying to do that right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but like face tattoos and stuff. Like my brother only has one, and he got stupid enough to get it on his hand, like on his right hand.
Right hand.
A clean slate.
Yeah.
Chris, you honestly don't seem like a tattoo person.
I feel like I want one. Okay, my mom just ran up on me. She's like, "We're gonna get this tattoo together, and it's gonna be great, and I'm gonna pay for it." I was like, "What?" This was like a week ago, but I feel like I want just little ones on my arm. But like
Yeah,
definitely
just little
one
ones.
of like meeting, and maybe just words. I don't think I would do like any big pictures, but maybe just like
Yeah.
with meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah, me
Good
and my
reminders.
mom, we've Like I've been trying to convince her to get a tattoo, and she's like opening up to it. Like I'm so close to getting it confirmed that she wants a tattoo, but I've been telling her like we could get like different matching tattoos. Like I told her that we could get a matching band just around our arms of the national flower of the Philippines, the Sampaguita.
It's cool.
Yeah, just like
It's a cool name.
yeah, it's a cool name. It's like I was trying to think of what other name they call it, and I do not remember at all. It had a really cool name though, I promise.
The only tattoo I would get would be outlining my abs.
I knew a girl with like she did the bottom of her toe,
Yeah.
and it was a smiley face on the bottom of her toe, and that was it. I was like, okay.
It's like a
For
stick
my
and
foot
poke in high
OnlyFans,
school.
I did a picture where it was like a close up of my foot, and on my big toe it was a smiley face.
Dude, I
How's
can't
your-
believe Nasser ran that.
He ran it really well for like a day and then gave up, and then we both gave up.
I was about to ask if that was still up.
No, I deleted it. It's so hard. I have so much more. I have so much more respect for girls who do OnlyFans now. Now I'm sure it's easier for them to get into the business than it is for a guy who only does foot pics. But even then, just like how much you have to put yourself out there to even start to get an audience on that.
Yeah.
Like,
There's
It's-
whole like Twitters like
Mhm.
just
so
for
just
that shit.
yeah, just the,
Not
the
that I would know.
Yeah, this idea that, oh, they're just taking pictures and videos of themselves and posting it and guys pay them for it. To an extent, yeah, but there's so much more to
It's
it.
like any other content creation, you know?
Yeah.
There's emotional bonding that happens.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
make any sales from your feet pics?
No,
Not a
no,
one?
I just got a lot of creepy DMs.
Mine didn't go through there.
I bet if I kept it up, it would have gone
At least
somewhere,
one.
but
I'm
Maybe.
thinking about it in today's economy.
yeah.
I mean,
Side
like
hustle.
with long hair, you look feminine enough to, probably get some guys off, maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure I could touch upon a
Fantastic
certain
compliment.
niche
Yeah.
that many people don't reach, but it's, believe it or not, it's just not really my interest to do OnlyFans for the rest of my life.
I'm so surprised, Daniel. Like I totally thought that was like your passion.
Maybe I should run a regular OnlyFans that isn't porn. Because
Maybe you should just do full porn. Like skip the Pete pics. Gay porn. Go ahead.
Dude.
I won't act in it, but I'll be behind the camera for you, buddy. Don't worry.
no.
I thought I'd shoot my shot.
I'll let that thought simmer in the back, but
Yeah.
probably not.
Probably.
Probably not.
Not to, I'm going to stray off topic.
Yeah,
Because
good.
I
It's
probably a
realized.
good
My mom's
How
gonna
long
listen
you
back to
been
this. I just exposed myself.
Yeah, I got
So
you.
anyway, Miles, please save us.
No, I got you. Owen, when did you start growing out your hair? Because
Can I ask? And this is a legitimate question. Did I inspire it a little bit? Even just a little bit? Just the teeniest, tiniest bit? Come on, you gotta give me some of the credit.
Maybe. I mean, I'd say maybe. It was actually probably more Mark, but no, I'm
Probably.
joking. No, I'm joking.
Every single guy who's ever grown out their hair took the idea from me.
Yeah, exactly. No, I
playing,
mean,
I'm
well,
playing.
yeah. I mean, I always saw Daniel with his grown hair, and then like, I guess there was just like I've had long hair before, like before I even met any of you guys, and it was just really long bangs
Yeah.
and like kind of like Justin Bieber haircut, you know.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like and I didn't like that, so I was like, I don't look good with long hair. So that's when I started cutting my hair. I did like the Hermie the Elf kind of hair, like with the flip, you know. I did that for a while, and then I joined the swim team, and I bleached my hair, and then I lifeguarded, and I just kind of let it grow from there. I don't know why. I just was like, yeah, I'll let it grow out.
Yeah.
And I never cut it since. No, I've gotten it trimmed and stuff, but I've been growing it out since sophomore year of high school, I think.
Is it naturally blonde? Or is
Yep.
it, man? Yeah.
Wait, Eli, your guys' hair is getting pretty long. Is the idea to
guys
grow
are
it out,
falling
or
out.
Yeah.
I don't really like haircuts. I'm like Owen was saying.
Yeah, I
like,
mean, yeah, so.
doing stupid shit growing up with your hair, like you're just like over it at some point.
Yeah.
I just wake up, put a hat on, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah, that was most of my opinion too. I was like, you know what, like I'm using so much gel in my hair, and like I don't like it. I don't like doing my hair every morning. I'm just gonna grow it out, and it'll probably look good at some point, and it kind of does.
Yeah, quarantine made it so easy. I
Yeah.
had my hair this long already and cut it.
I remember when Mike live streamed him shaving his head.
Yeah. I miss that. I miss my bald head.
Yeah.
you want to shave it right now for the
No.
podcast?
I got a thing going on right now.
Yeah. You
But-
can't be doing that. At the
Yeah.
moment.
Honestly, I like the way it looks with long. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got my hair cut like a month ago,
Yeah.
but they only cut like I told them to cut it really short, and the lady was like, "No."
She's like, you look too good.
She's like, "I don't think we should cut it short." So then she didn't cut it short, and it looks the same. But I got a
think it looks
haircut.
good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I think my hair's been the same for like a good.
I feel like you've just looked the same for the past 10 years.
yeah, that can't be good.
You have like just your face has gotten a little longer. Like,
That's how we age these days.
Yeah.
This is the longest my hair has ever been. I mean, not ever been, but like, it's not even long, but like,
That's pretty long. Like
I don't know, it's just unkempt.
yeah.
But I'm generally a miles short. I feel
like
like I've
Yeah.
always wanted to grow it out,
Uh-huh.
but
Yeah,
I have
that-
nothing interesting going on. Like I don't
That's-
even have any.
I feel like you just have to start growing it out first to get something interesting going on.
Maybe I don't think it'll like curl up or have any waves.
And there's only one way to find
I
out.
guess. not.
I just have like the pompadour style going for
Yeah.
like,
It's like an impressive hole.
I'll tell you what.
How much gel did you use in that this morning?
It's not gel, bro.
No way.
What is it?
It's just naturally
It's-
like that. It just
it's
looks like that.
hairspray. It is hairspray.
That's,
Dude, I
Okay,
grew
how
up.
much hairspray then?
So it depends.
Long story.
Is it a man's product? Is it like a man's hairspray?
No, it's my mother's Tresemme.
Yeah, that
shit works. That shit works.
In all
It's a
fairness, like-
good. It's been reliable.
Like women's stuff probably like they have to hold up like longer hair,
Yeah.
so it makes sense that it would
I
work
use
really
use
well.
women's shampoo and conditioner because it
Women's
just
yeah,
products
works really
in general are just better than
Dove
men's
conditioner.
products.
Oh, it's so
Fucking
good.
2-in-1, 3-in-1.
No, yeah, you can't use
not
that
real.
shit.
Not a chance.
That's I use like body wash. That's like a 2-in-1 because my dad has really short hair.
Yeah,
and,
but that's like body wash.
yeah, exactly. He has really short. He's got like basically shaved hair, so he just uses that.
Have you
Yeah.
heard of
But,
the people
um,
that like don't shampoo their hair for
Oh,
like?
I do that. I don't use shampoo.
Okay,
or
I've always
Yeah.
been curious about it because like
I used
if
to
you
not
do it
shampoo.
for like if
I
you
used to
don't
not
do it for
shampoo.
long enough, then you get some like good texture on it.
Yeah, it like was greasy for a while, but kind of sorted itself out.
Really?
after, like,
Yeah.
About
See,
a
I
month
kind of like
not
want to
doing
do
it.
that because I feel like because my hair just
Well,
keeps
do you
going
feel
down.
like your
But I feel
hair at the moment has like an issue with being like super dry or anything like that?
I don't know. It's just I don't know. I'm unimpressed. It's been-
Unimpressed. Okay.
I just keep it unkempt on the top of my head.
Yeah.
I shampoo it a lot, and I feel like
Yeah.
if I stop doing it, it just get greasy and gross. And I don't want to like
Mm-hmm.
try to get to the other side.
Well, like
That's-
Mike said, it does. Your hair does kind of adapt in
Yeah,
that way.
but I'm just scared to go through that
Yeah.
phase because I'll just be greasy for like a couple of months or something.
That's one thing I've always struggled with being on the swim team and a lifeguard is just chlorine.
Oh,
Like the way
yeah.
chlorine affects your hair is terrible. But use clarifying shampoo and some conditioner. It really helps. It really helps. Like I mean, like I just worked yesterday and you can't even really tell that I was in a pool of water. But yeah.
Dude, I gotta say, when you put your like hair in front of your face, that like pained me inside. Like I can't handle hair like lower than like here on my head. Like
Oh, really?
no,
You get-
that's terrible.
You get used to it. That was one of the troubles I had when I was first growing out my hair,
Mhm.
especially when it wasn't past my shoulders.
Yeah, when it hits your face all the time.
That's what I'm saying. I
That's where
can't
I'm
get
at.
past
Yeah.
that stage, and I don't want to at that point.
I had
Like,
to.
Miles.
When I see,
Right.
that's the worst thing is when I would play drums and I would just like, I go
Yeah.
pretty much like this all the time, like, and it kind of looks cool now, but like, but for a while it's like I can't see anything.
Yeah, dude, I saw this kid walking down my neighborhood, and his hair was shaped like a mop. like for real.
You guys
And
continue. I'm just gonna.
It
check
was
something.
like
Yeah, go
smacking his
ahead.
face over and over. I'm like, how this kid can't see? There's
No.
no way this kid can see more than like 5 feet ahead of him right now, because it was so much hair, and I can't do that.
One thing I really struggled with when I was swimming, I used to swim without a
I
cap.
just struggle with swimming.
Yeah, I used to swim without a cap, and so like, pretty much the cap is just to keep your hair back and make you faster. But for practices, I wouldn't swim with the cap because I didn't need one. But when my hair started to get longer, you turn your head to breathe. And so you turn your head and you just
Waterboard
as
yourself.
much hair is like,
Yeah.
and then you die. So I was like, yeah, I need to wear a cap now.
Yeah.
Chris, Miles, I feel like you guys should just try it out.
Yeah.
I don't
Just-
know. I
just-
feel like I
just go
passed
for
the
it.
quarantine, like, do what you want with your hair phase.
If Chris does it,
That was
I'll
a good
do
time
it.
to try
Yeah.
something
Chris,
new. And I
you've
didn't
got to
do it.
commit now.
Do you wanna
Dude.
try? I mean, I'm already ahead of you.
You know.
Miles said before the podcast I should get a mullet.
Yeah.
mullet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mullets are actually cool.
I feel
It
like
depends on the
It
person.
depends on the
It
person.
depends
I
on
feel
the
like,
person.
Yeah.
like, you get
'Cause, like,
really,
I mean, you can say
I
that
know
about
some
anything.
country bumpkin motherfuckers that have some real bad mullets,
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
like, I feel like
It's
you
all about
really
the
gotta-
confidence,
yeah.
though, with the mullet.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Speaking of inspiration with hair, one thing I will say, someone who inspired my hair is when I started doing like the whole like flippy like gel up was Luke from middle school.
Yeah.
He had the most gelled hair ever.
Everyone in
dude.
middle school just
Straight
Straight
up.
up.
It was just straight up in the front. I was like, man, I kind of want to do something like that.
Yeah, I remember it.
I feel like my hair was just inspired by anime. Like,
never grow
I was
up.
a big fan of Full Metal Alchemist, and the main character in that had like the long braided hair. So I felt like I needed to do that. I wanted to be that guy.
Yeah, I feel like if there was anyone that inspired my long hair, it was probably my grandfather, because he had really long hair and he was in a hard rock band and played the drums, and I was like, that's really cool.
My brother started growing out his hair recently. Yeah, and he's got it in this like mini ponytail right now. But it
Yeah.
low key looks really
That's
good.
the worst
It's like
stages, though, sometimes.
he's gotten to it to a point where like it's manageable now. Like he can
Okay.
tie it back like regularly.
Good.
Uh-huh.
And it's like for him, it's like a Viking look at this point. Like
Okay.
if you see like Viking hairstyles, like short Viking hairstyles, that's where it's at. Like I think it looks really good, and now I'm like thinking about what I could do with it to make it not copy him, but to grow it out that way.
Yeah.
because it'd be interesting. But I don't think any of y'all would like it. Probably.
We've been trying to convince you for the past 10 minutes at least
to change my hair.
to do it.
Only if you had the Viking hat like, with it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
gotta grow it out and
Just
look
gotta
like
commit
Thor
to the look.
Yeah.
with like the braids.
it would be painful, but I would go for it. Like, yeah. I don't know if my girlfriend would approve either.
Does your hair
See,
hurt
that's
when
a-
it grows?
You are beholden to no woman, Miles.
Oh, no.
You can do whatever you want. You are a
Except I
strong,
kinda am,
independent man.
but-
No girl can tell you how to do your hair.
Yeah.
She can't tell him
Totally.
what to do, but if
Except your mom. No,
Except for my mom, bro.
it's true.
Nah, I mean,
that's like half the reason I don't cut my hair too, is because if I did, my mom would yell at me.
yeah. I don't think she would really care, to be totally honest. But
Uh-huh.
I think like I would probably care more than her. I'd just probably be like, "Does this look good today?" I don't know. Cut it too soon because I wouldn't like it for a certain period of time, and that's all it'd take. Just like a
Yeah.
month of just my hair's in my face. I'm cutting it.
Yeah.
It's too much.
I fought very hard for my hair.
Really?
Like I don't remember when I first had the idea of growing it out, but for the longest time, like even before 7th grade when I did start growing it out, I was constantly asking my mom if I could. And of course, like I was in like 6th, 5th, whatever year it was. So, of course, she could just tell me no. It got to the point where she was literally paying me to get haircuts. That was where a significant amount of my allowance came from. It was from, okay, we're gonna go get a haircut. Here's $20 for you.
Sounds like Reese's mom.
Yeah. But eventually she gave in. I think mostly because of my brother. After everything, like everything else was just so problematic that it was just like, okay, whatever. This is the least of my worries. You having long
Grow
hair.
out your damn hair, dude.
Yeah, exactly. That's literally what it was.
You got other things
I
to
feel
worry
like,
about.
It's very nice.
yeah.
I mean, how many have older brothers here, like older siblings?
I don't have. I am the oldest
Yeah,
sibling. So.
yeah. No, it's
I'm
nice.
the youngest.
It's nice to be the younger one, I think.
Yeah, totally.
Oh yeah,
overall.
I get away with so much.
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
what? I sometimes talk to my parents. I'm like, you let the girls stay up till like 10 o'clock sometimes on school nights. I had like an 8 o'clock bedtime, bro. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, yeah.
They're like, we learned some things with you. That was it. And I was like,
You really get
Yeah,
to
you
watch
know,
as a younger
and you
like
just kind of
child.
lost, your
Yeah.
care. No, I'm joking. But yeah. It's interesting because I was an only child for like 10 years. And then all of a sudden I had 4 sisters.
That is
yeah,
weird.
That was interesting. Like one right after another. But yeah.
I have 6 siblings, 1 full sibling, and then the rest are half siblings.
Yeah.
And it's kind of odd because I didn't grow up with any of them. I mean, I grew up with Mark, of course, but everyone else, all of my other siblings, like they were already out of the house by the time I was born. So I never knew any of them growing up. So, like, of course I love them, but it's almost like they're more of distant cousins than they are brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
In that way.
I understand that. I try to be, because there's a pretty big age gap between me and my sisters, but because I have 2 half sisters that live with my biological mom. Unfortunately, I don't talk to my biological mom anymore, so I don't really talk to them anymore, which is a terrible thought side of it. But I do plan on reconnecting with them at some point when, their crazy bitch mom dies or something. But
Going straight for the kill there.
Literally.
And they, I don't really talk to them that much, but I did have a good connection with them, and I have a very strong connection with my 2 sisters that live here in Rockford, and like I take my youngest sister to school and stuff like that, and like I think it's important to have a good connection with your younger siblings, because if you don't, I feel like a relationship kind of falls to the wayside if you don't. You know what I mean? Because I could definitely like be moved out of the house and have no connection with like my younger sister at all, but I have a really strong connection with her. So,
Yeah.
there's that.
How's everyone doing on being talkative right now?
I'm good.
What's the talking? Oh, everyone's good. Okay,
I
I was
feel
gonna
like
say
we're
we're
talking
like,
a lot.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say
Roommates,
we've been
hold
into
on to
this
your
podcast
microphone.
for a minute,
maybe.
so if you guys want to
Yeah.
wrap it up, or we can keep going. It's whatever. Like
Daniel,
I'm just kind of making
you
it
know
up
me.
along the way, so
Yeah.
it's up to you guys. Miles, what was that?
that was the intro segment.
That was the intro. Now the podcast starts.
Yeah.
All right, guys. When are the aliens coming?
Tonight.
They're already
Tonight.
here.
They're
right
already
now.
here.
That helicopter that went by earlier.
It's actually not a full moon. That's actually a spaceship.
That was an anime.
This
Gurren
is-
Lagann.
This is actually a prison Earth.
prison Earth?
Yeah, you
Like
understand.
Australia.
People are not supposed to walk on their feet. We were put here as a prison because of the gravity. That's why old people get such bad hip problems and back problems. You get it? And the moon is just it's just an observation station.
That makes perfect sense.
That's where the warden is
the warden
of our prison
Whoa.
Earth.
I'm gonna talk to my girl later, and I'll be like, "You see the warden?"
Wave to the wind. We'll get out one day.
Yeah, but they have found like abandoned bunkers on like Mars and shit.
Who?
All right, who?
Like there's pictures of them.
What pictures?
Yeah, they're trying to debunk that right now.
They
saying
are
there's just like a
trying to debunk
perfectly
it.
formed rock that looked
Yeah.
exactly like a bunker.
It looks like a bunker.
There's some pretty interesting rocks out there.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
There
you
are.
go up to Devil's Lake and they have that whole Devil's Doorway, and it does kind of look like a gateway to hell, but that's just like a really interesting rock.
Or Devil's Rock.
Yeah.
Is it Devil's Rock or Devil's something?
Well,
It's like the big plateau looking thing. I went there,
Yeah.
It's in like Wyoming or something.
Yeah, sure.
But
Or-
Devil's Tower. Yeah,
Devil's
that's
Tower.
what
Oh,
it is.
yeah.
Devil's Tower.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
I
was
saw
in
that.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you just things like that are very strange. Where it's just like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
How did that get there? And maybe an alien did put it there. Maybe it is a secret alien bunker. Maybe the warden's in there. But also, it could just be a really cool rock. Like,
Yeah,
we haven't been here
exactly.
since the beginning of time. We don't know shit.
I watch a lot of like kind of conspiracy YouTube and shit. Like
too.
I watch a lot of like Wendigoon and like there was something I really got into for a little bit called the Monument Mythos, and it was about like these creatures that lived under like American monuments and shit. Like, and like it was like an alternate timeline type thing. It was crazy. Like some of the shit I watch freaks me the hell out. There was one like I watched this video about it was like a conspiracy theory iceberg, and one of them was it was called the solar plexus clown glider, and basically it's this picture that if you look at the picture, or I guess they say if you say the name too, this demon gets implanted into your solar plexus. And it will slowly take over your body. Now, I've looked at the picture and nothing's happened to me. Nasser actually looked at the picture for hours to see what would happen.
Seems just
Yeah, he did. And it was pretty interesting. But still, when I think about that, it kind of freaks me out a little bit. It gives me a little bit of bone chills. But
I just watched like Family Guy after this.
That is
Yeah,
just as
exactly.
scary.
yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I don't believe in demons
No.
or ghosts or anything like that. But if you do watch a scary video or a scary movie, you do like
You
walk
feel
around with a
something.
little bit of
Yeah.
eeriness, with a little bit of weariness.
Mhm.
I've said this before, but I think what's scarier than any of those things is actual people. Like if you're walking out in the
death.
dark, yeah, like there are actual murderers out there. There are crazy people who should probably be locked up.
That's a lot of the stuff I watch is like
Yeah.
real life shit, and I'm like, wow, our
Like-
world is fucked up.
You're scared of something you can't see when there's people with guns and knives.
Yeah.
It just now we're all looking around.
I still got that like kind of inner child where I'm like, I'll sleep alone for a night or something, and like I just had to clean out my whole house, and there was a day where there was just my couch and my TV left, and my parents were gone, and I'm in this big open house. I'm in the basement, and my house creaks a lot too. So it was so unnerving. I don't know why. I couldn't sleep for like 3 hours.
that's an inner child.
Well, it just felt like I mean anybody could have probably just been like, all right, nighttime, time to go to bed. I don't know, but for me, it's easy to set it up like it's scary, but like it was like I slept in my basement so many times, but when nobody was there, that's when I just really felt like, holy shit, this is a big house. Like,
Yeah,
so-
I understand. Like, I definitely have a little bit of comfort, sleeping and knowing, like, at least someone's like upstairs or something. But I like to have like a video playing or music playing or even just a fan going, so it's not like just dead silence.
Oh, I love dead silence and
hate
pitch dark.
dead silence.
It's
I
the
cannot.
best.
I like pitch dark. I've learned to because I had like a Sensi like warmer that it lit up my room and it was almost kind of like a nightlight. But after a while I was like this thing's too bright. I finally turned it off one night. I was like, this is really nice. Like, I can't see anything. This is great.
Bro, is eye cancer a thing? Because I think I have it.
I'm crying for real.
Oh, I've had so much smoke.
It'll kill me.
Over my eyes.
Cause
I think we've answered the question of why aren't people doing more bonfire podcasts. No, it's still it's super nice and cool, but every time
few
there's just
seconds.
like you get like ambushed.
Yeah.
that's
That's
any
the fun part.
bonfire though.
Yeah.
Like, but
Yeah.
I actually think this has been really cool.
Yeah.
I think this has worked out as a good first
Yeah,
episode.
I had zero clue how this was gonna go.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
You guys have been really good about not talking over each other. That was the main thing I was worried about, because especially since
Thanks, Daniel.
I'm gonna start right now.
yeah, we all
I've
just
done
started
so
out.
much already. Hey,
Yo,
we just all started
this is a
talking
really good
into a
podcast.
It is a pretty good
Right.
podcast. I thought it was
Yeah.
pretty good.
It was funny
I thought I was gonna like
how
cover
the fire
burgers
took
or
so
something.
long to put
It
together.
did take
Yeah.
a long. I thought I was
Daniel
gonna.
should edit this so that like
Both on,
we all
like,
can
the
hear each
bonfire
other
and the
individually.
I
all
thought
the
like I
time.
was gonna
And-
burn, or
Yeah.
you know, the burgers were gonna be raw.
They could
but then
merge
it was-
together
they'd be
and just,
okay, so I was glad about that.
That'd be
And I've
so
just been
sick. And it
talking
just,
and talking.
zooms in on each of us
So that's been
individually.
awesome.
Just
So,
like
Like maybe this could be like a
there,
transition where he like
That'd be-
fades
yeah.
out and like oh, podcast is over.
Do 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 do.
Not the
Actually,
Daniel
it's gonna
Strohman podcast.
Be whatever thing you're putting together for it.
Yeah.
So it's not gonna be that
Oh,
anymore. But yeah, no, this went super well. Apart from
Absolutely.
the smoke attacking everyone.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm wearing goggles next time.
yeah.
When I grill, I'm gonna wear goggles.
Yeah, no, it makes me excited to do all the other ones. It is just like a nice, fun thing to do. That's the main thing. Is just I wanted, because like I enjoy the podcast, but it was something that was more of like.
I kind of forgot I was on a podcast. Like,
Yeah.
I was just chilling.
Yeah.
Dude, that's how I
Yeah.
feel
With the
every week.
bros.
It's like, oh yeah, I have a podcast to do.
Uh-huh.
It
This
is
one-
kind of like a
This is just fun.
I mean, we've been going for like almost like 2 hours. I
yeah,
think now.
yeah. I checked the time not too long ago.
Yes.
It is like closing in on. It was closing in on 2 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like,
That's
what
how our
can
podcast went.
It was more of like a side thing than it is like something that was like super important to me.
Yeah.
And like, you know, my YouTube channel is still my main gig, but I wanted to do something with this where I can turn it into something where it's like I'm genuinely excited for it every time I want to do it.
No, and I think I've always thought having the podcast was a good idea because people come to your YouTube channel who don't know you.
Yeah.
Boom, they know you from watching a couple episodes of this. You
Yeah.
know, and then they know the people you hang out with too.
Mm-hmm,
Like,
exactly.
And then they can know new people that they might want to watch.
Yeah, exactly. Like I kind of wanted the podcast to be my way of helping other people out. Like the YouTube channel would be my thing. That's how I grow myself. But then, you know, if my friends, if you guys, if there was something else that I thought was really cool and I wanted to introduce people to, the podcast would be a really good means of doing that.
Yeah.
Subscribe to Chris Kellogg.
Scramble window. Yeah, scramble.
So
I feel like there's definitely like I'm catching myself doing it because it's the fire, but like I get entranced by the fire at times. So
Uh-huh.
I know like I'm totally fully listening to people,
Uh-huh.
but when I know there's gonna be points in the podcast where you're gonna like look at myself and you guys are gonna be
Uh-huh.
talking and I'm just gonna be like hella
Yeah.
zoned out.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah. There is something very entrancing, very primal about this, right? And that's kind of that's kind of the vibe I wanted to go for. I wanted to go for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very primal. Like, you know, back in the day, our ancient ancestors, they would spend all day hunting. You know, the women would stay home and take care of the kids because they couldn't do anything else.
Oh yes. Yeah. Yeah.
The men would
I wish
hopefully
they
come
still
home.
did that.
The
No, I'm
men would
joking.
come home with hopefully with a kill, and at the end of the day, everyone's just around a fire, in some cave, you know, having some decent food and just enjoying their time together.
You ever seen podcast outside?
I have not.
Outdoor? I don't know.
Did they do one around a bonfire?
They just like
Hell
I think it's-
yeah.
I think it's two dudes that just like go like place themselves in random places,
Yeah,
random
that's cool.
cities or like campuses,
Yeah.
and they just like wait for everyone to walk by and like, hey, come here. Like, I don't.
Have a podcast, bro.
Yeah, I've only
Yeah.
seen
I think
it,
I've seen that
yeah,
before,
on, like,
actually.
TikTok or
Yeah.
something.
I
Cool concept.
me and Reese had a concept for a while. We had it all set up too, and it was going to be on the way to school podcast, and we would just record a podcast on our drive from home to school,
kinda cool, actually.
and then way back, and we had it all set up like mics like in his car and stuff like that, and We recorded like one episode. It was kind of dodgy, and then we never did it again, mostly because of COVID.
My drive to school is like 2 minutes, so
Well, yeah, it was
2-minute podcast.
It was like a 25-minute drive, but if you added up the coming back from school too, it was it was so there was like kind of an intermission.
At Auburn, because that was where I had a much longer drive. Because I'm really close to.
I forget that you're at Auburn for a second.
Yeah. Dude, the thing is that everybody was so mad at me for leaving. It was insane.
And no one said shit to Nasser.
And then he left, and he came up to me afterwards. It was at our brother's.
Salty about
I'm
that.
so salty. I'm so salty because he comes up to me after the it's our brother's graduations. He's like, "Hey, so I'm coming to Guilford too," and I was like, "Are you serious?" After all this, because he was one of the ones giving me like the most shit about leaving, and then he came with me.
Yep.
In the same year, same time. I was like,
I gave him a lot of shit for leaving because I knew he was before.
He was hiding in my shadow.
I knew he was before, and I was like, "Bro, you can't." And I was like, "Yeah, that might be best for you. You know, you got it. You got this, bro." And look where he is now. College, good for him.
It's crazy.
I didn't even get there, so.
Because I either know all of you from Marshall or Auburn or Guilford, but then I know this guy from Spectrum, which is crazy. It's our kindergarten.
Happy Pride Month, by the
first
way.
year kindergarten.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Because I see this guy for like a month, maybe, like a lot, and then it's about 5 years later, and then I see him again. But
it back up.
yeah,
It's
crazy.
so weird how I know.
Interconnected from
And then I went to Washington, and like you guys, and then we switched, and then now I'm just like back here.
Yeah. I like the mic grasp you got going there.
I don't know. I'm trying out different techniques.
Trying out different things.
Yeah.
I think this one is kind of
The
working.
chopstick
Still
style.
going
It's,
Staying
like the stand.
And it's just right in my
Yeah.
mouth. I
Oh,
don't
Mike's
know.
got a technique here.
That
Holding
one's
it
good.
upside
That
down.
reminds me of
Like kind of a wrestling analogy. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages,
Yeah, I was
let's
thinking
get
about
ready to rumble. Yeah,
Owen, you should actually do that for your career.
that'd
Yeah.
be cool.
That was really impressive. I was not expecting that to be that good.
There you go.
But I felt like I was at a boxing match right then.
Dude, I have
You practice it
a
every
good
night.
talent. No, maybe it's just from singing a lot, but I can hold notes pretty long. So like I went to a Kill Bill concert with Justin, Adam, and Nasser, and one of the things I would do is I would just like woo as long as like after everyone was done wooing, like I was still going ooh, like it's like really fucking long. And so the people on stage would just kind of look at me. It was probably annoying, but it was funny to me.
I had a friend who I will have remain like undisclosed here, but came over recently, and like he knows I play like piano and do music and stuff, but I guess he was trying to learn a couple of songs, and he was showing me and stuff, and I was like, but he was like, "God, this doesn't sound right," and I was like, "Oh, maybe play it like this," and I played it, and he's like, "You can like play pretty well," and I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Honestly, I didn't know you had any talent." I was like, "Oh yeah, thanks. You know, only my friend of many years." It's like, I heard you played piano, but I just kind of assumed you sucked. It's like, yeah, that's fair.
That's what I tell people. I was like, yeah, I play guitar, drums, bass, and piano, but like I don't play any of them well.
Yeah.
I remember when you recorded your stuff for SoundCloud and we were doing the Some Turtleneck video. I had to like show you like what notes you had to hit for your own song on the piano just to make it look a little bit more accurate. I always thought that was funny.
No, every single thing I produce is just me mashing buttons until it sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've actually thought about, because I have like a completed song and then a couple of beats that just never got released. I thought I wanted to turn the beats into songs, but like my subscribers, the people in the chat, have been telling anytime I stream, they've been telling me you should do more with music because they've like looked me up on SoundCloud and found my SoundCloud.
Yeah, I knew they were at some point.
Well, that's just the
Yeah.
way the egg rolls sometimes, Daniel.
Yeah.
That
So,
one is
you know.
actually a banger.
Okay.
I do want to do a music video for that eventually. I just need to rent out a Happy Walk though.
Saint Zesty. When's Lil Weeb coming back to the scene?
That's the real question.
That's the real question.
I don't know. I just get inspired again.
You can't wait for inspiration to come, man. You gotta
Amen.
do
Yeah.
first.
You do.
Hi, Mom.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey,
Yeah, you're in the podcast right now.
Yeah.
Hi.
Oh, all right.
She's running away.
Bye.
It's okay. Special guest.
Special guest.
Yeah. Dude, my mom will never let me like take a single picture of her ever. I'm like,
I don't let my mom take pictures of me.
I'm gonna be like 50 with kids, and I'm gonna have like 2 pictures of my mom. Like, please let me like have a few, man. Like, come on.
I was putting together the grill that Owen was using like just a couple hours before you guys came, and my mom, I saw her take out her phone and I knew exactly what was happening. She was just gonna take a picture of me putting together this grill, and it's like, no, I think I told her straight up, just I will be so mad if you take a picture right now. Partially because like that grill was very frustrating to put together. The instructions were not the most fluent.
Seems like it was hard to put together.
Yeah, it was like it's a small little thing, but it was the pictures were not very easy to follow. But yeah, or there will be other times where we're just driving in the car together, and she'll take out her phone and go for like a selfie in the car, and it's just like this is not a special occasion. We do this every week, at least.
It would have been awesome if we walked in and you were just having a full-blown temper tantrum. It's like, hey, ready for the podcast?
I'm not to out my mom or anything, but just before this started and I was inside, she was asking if she could take pictures and just like through the windows, and I was like, no.
Nice. Yeah. It's like every once in a while, just a little like blink of light.
I told her that she can take some pictures afterwards, but during it was just I would get too weirded out.
Yeah.
I
Some
like
paparazzi.
pictures. My mom takes a lot of pictures. I take pictures. I don't take enough pictures, I think.
Yeah,
But I'm in a lot of pictures.
Take too many pictures.
That's like
Yeah.
half the
Half a hundred.
pictures.
that's like your whole career, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess. But like even like if I'm just like eating a meal, but not in like a make it frame good. Like I just like take like the grossest picture of this meal.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what it is. My iPhone storage is gone.
Starts
Yeah.
like a gross food Instagram page.
That would be
Like,
sick. Just like unappealing food.
Uh-huh.
there's like Facebook groups for that shit too.
Yeah.
Might look into that.
I recently went through like 2,000 or 3,000 pictures of mine from like Snapchat memories because I was just like some of these because there was a few times where I had like flashbacks from Snapchat, and it was like a really horrible picture that I took of myself, and I was just like, why did I take this and why did I save it? Like, why did I was like, why did I do that? And so yeah, after enough of those flashbacks, I was like, I'm just gonna sit down for like an hour and a half and just clear these from any sort of flashback because just dampened my day after a while, man.
Right.
Well, guys,
Yeah.
we are at least. Oh, when did the sunglasses come out?
Right
Oh,
now.
Right now.
Thought I'd
Yeah.
leave
Switch
on
it
a
up a
high
little.
note.
Yeah, you sense the incoming.
I
But
did.
yeah, we are at. I think we've got to be well over 2 hours at
Yeah,
this point.
probably 2.5.
Yeah, and my cameras are gonna run out of storage soon, so we better wrap this up. Is there any last thoughts that anyone wants to get out? Any important words that people need to say? Of course, Owen, Chris, I know you guys got stuff to plug, so feel free to. Owen, where can people find you?
So you can find me over on YouTube or Instagram on at Scrembo Indo.
That's Scrembo Endo. Make sure you spell that for everyone.
That is SKREMBOINDO. Scrembo Endo. I make marijuana content.
Hell yeah. And when I tell
Come
you,
over and look
guys,
that.
for everyone listening, when I tell you that this man is actually very funny, I mean it. That's all I have to say.
Sometimes. Thank
When I
you.
tell you
No,
this
I
guy
actually love your
smokes weed,
content,
I
and-
tell you this guy smokes weed.
This guy does in fact smoke a dab or two. He does Scooby Doo a bit.
Dude, little dabble do you.
Chris
plug.
Kellogg, I
Nice
hear
plug.
you have.
Sticker.
He does have a sticker
Oh, Chris J. Kellogg on TikTok.
on
cool.
TikTok and
yeah. Now I'm starting the YouTube.
and on YouTube.
Just Chris Kellogg.
You want to spell that for
Kellogg.
everyone?
ChrisKellogg.
Very nice,
Thank
very
you.
nice.
Like the cereal, right?
Exactly
Yeah.
like this here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I remember my chat asked you if you were the guy who invented
Yeah,
Kellogg.
I think every person I've ever met.
Are
is
you-
like,
are you
it's a
Tony the
cereal."
Tiger?
Yeah, exactly. Every time. But yes. Thank
So
you.
fun. But yeah, make sure you check those guys out. Did anyone else have anything that they needed to plug?
You can plug me.
Just Miles.
Jacksepticeye. JACKS. Yeah, no. I have upcoming music. Jack Alex.
Jack
For
Alex.
real.
Ooh, okay.
Alex.
I say upcoming. It might never come. But,
Hey,
you know,
And
you're
where
not
can
gonna
they
find
find that?
anything until now. You'll see reposts. Saint Zesty. And
Yeah.
whatever your new, you change it a lot, like, but yeah.
So where can they find this?
It's just Jack Alex on SoundCloud.
On SoundCloud.
SoundCloud.
Have you thought about doing any other platforms like YouTube or?
Eventually, I just gotta actually make stuff
Yeah,
first, and then
fair enough.
I'll spread it out.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Mike, did you want to plug your job or something?
I'm just Mike Tackett, man.
This is Guy.
Okay,
Real
fair
life
enough.
every day.
Mikey Man.
Eli, did you have anything
Real
you need to
life
plug
Mike
or
Tag.
just?
I might be putting out a skate video at the end of summer.
yeah,
Where can
Oh,
they find the
yeah.
skate video?
Oh no, I have to make it.
Or yeah, I mean, but like when it does come out, where would they find that?
Yeah, we're still figuring that out right now.
Yeah.
You know, it's probably just gonna be on YouTube. It's just a small.
Okay. Do you know what the channel would be called?
No.
Okay. There's gonna be a skate video, guys, and you just have to find it.
You
It's a
can go
scavenger
on
hunt.
gonna have to come back.
Instagram and follow Dandelion Skate.
Yeah, you
right?
can
That,
do that.
yes.
That's factual.
You just spell that dandelion and skate.
Dandy.
Dandelion.
It's
Mhm.
DANDYLION.
Skate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something
All
like
right.
that. I don't
Any
know.
other-
I don't run the thing. That's their thing.
You're plugging
Yeah, I'm plugging their thing for them.
Yeah.
All right. And any other things we need to plug? Anything we need to get out of the way before? All right. Thank you.
Thanks to Owen, real quick,
Oh,
for
thank
the
you for
burgers
grilling
and,
Owen.
then-
so much
and the
for
national
great
anthem.
burgers.
And the national anthem. Owen really pulled through.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see what else you cook it for the future podcast.
Yeah.
I plan on
Thank
doing.
you to Daniel for
Yeah,
Of
of course.
course,
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
course.
hard work you always put in.
Inviting
stuff.
me and
Appreciate
basically
it.
booking me for the summer. I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, of
you
course.
Thanks.
The first man to be on at least 8 podcasts.
Jesus. I think I broke in the record now. I'm at 3.
Yeah,
This is my
Mike
third
has.
one.
You and Mike tied.
Oh, are we now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but in 2 weeks, you're
Yeah,
gonna break that again.
exactly.
Number 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for being on, guys. This was a really good first group. Yeah, I could not have asked for this to go more smoothly. Maybe the smoke could have been a little tamer.
It wasn't too bad, at least for me.
Added
so.
some
As long as it wasn't hitting
flair
my eyes, I'm
to all of
fine.
it.
Yeah.
But them, I don't care about.
But yeah, this was a ton of fun. I'm super excited for the future ones. And yeah, we can just hang out, roast some marshmallows after this.
Oh,
It'll be
yeah,
tight.
yeah.
It's
And
cool.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah,
Bye,
peace.
everybody.
Goodbye.
Peace out.
Woo! Cool.
Now the real question is, did everybody's microphone stay plugged in?
Probably.